Welcome to San Miguel TV. We are back. San Miguel in the house. That is me. He is I and I am him. Or as they say in the hood, San Miguel. Tonight we have a special broadcast. This is a battle royale in Kansas City. On one side, we have the mighty ISUPK. On the other side, we have the structured, the commanding, the men in purple, the purple people eaters. We have the IUIC, the Israelite United in Christ cult. Two groups will battle for the souls of the people of God, for the Lord God of Israel, to see who is worthy to be called the mighty men of God. Who will win? We shall see. So we got something special for you tonight. I will do an analysis of this battle royale. It's a Royal Rumble, a fight to the finish in the streets of Kansas City on a Saturday, on the Sabbath day, in broad daylight, on camera. You got the Israel United in Christ, the Purple People Eaters, and you got the ISUPK, the insane ISUPK under Commandant General Yahana. And this video, if you haven't seen it, is going to entertain you. It's going to amaze you. You might laugh. You might cry. You might shed a tear, man, just watching this because it is kind of freaking sad. This is another video I got playing behind me. But I'm going to see if I could share it. If I can't share it on the screen, if there are issues, please let me know. Anybody that's out there, let me know. I hope that you guys can hear me clearly. I'm going to try to share this video. So just give me a second here. If I can share screen. Claro. All right. So it looks like it's sharing. Yeah, and I'm there on the side. All right, perfect. So let me get more centered. This is amazing, my friends. What you're about to see, you're about to witness is history. I mean, I can't believe this actually happened. I mean, can I believe it? Of course I could believe it. So what am I saying? Let's go ahead and play this. I won't be able to see your messages for a while. Let's see if I can separate that. I can't. So let's go ahead and let's play this, man. Hopefully you can hear everything clearly. I'll make sure the volume is on. Please let me know if you guys can hear this. Now, I just want to review this because this is what happens when you have all these egos clash. You have all this perceived privilege that one group has over another group, over everybody in the world, really. These groups get taught to believe that my people are chosen. No, my people are chosen. No, I have the commanding group that the Lord wants us to join, and this and that, and blah blah blah. And then what happens is both of these personalities clash and then mash up, and you're gonna see. Let me just stop talking. Let me just play this thing because I mean, let it speak for itself. So the first guy you see here is not IUIC. If you can see, his shirt says the DOC, which stands for the Defenders of Christ. This is a completely different group. This guy seems to be here by himself, or maybe with someone else there. I think other people come later on that saw the live stream. But at the moment, it seems like he's on his own. And there are already two groups of people, two groups of Israelites on the same corner in Kansas City right in front of the public library. I don't know exactly which street or where, but I'm sure whoever's from there, somebody will chime in and hopefully let us know the actual location. Not really that important, but just something, some miscellaneous information to know. So let me just go ahead and get this started. This guy is a neutral bystander who just so happened to record this entire standoff, and it's It's amazing to watch. Check this out, guys.
Hey, look, Israelite against Israelite. Check it out.
Is that better like that? Yeah. Okay. I can see your comments now. Wish we could get a better view. I hate this. I could have put it sideways. Still know how to film.
Leave me alone. Go ahead, deal with. Leave me alone. Go work with them. Leave me alone.
Against the Holy Ghost. When you talk against the laws of God, when you blaspheme the laws of God, when you lie and you say that vengeance is not a commandment, we shall not be forgiven unto them. And whosoever.
So these are two groups here. I just muted it. We don't need to hear all this garbage anyways, but they're going back and forth. On the left side, you have the ISUPK. This is supposed to be the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, based out of, I believe, Philadelphia. It used to be based out of Harlem. They might still be like headquartered in Harlem. I don't even know, to tell you the truth. I believe it's Philly. I know that's where Johanna's at. That's where he teaches from, at least. ISUPK is not the original ISUPK. They took on the acronym from the Israeli School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And they kept the teachings and the barbarisms of the damn 90s. And now on the other side, or here on the right side, you can see the purple group. That's Israel United in Christ. For those that know, IUIC. They're under Bishop Nathaniel. Bishop Nathaniel is more structured, more orderly, and they just have a different vibe to them. It don't seem like your typical 90s Hebrew Israelite groups. Let me take off the mute though, because the guy's gonna say something. The person recording here on the Defenders of Christ.
Israelite against Israelite. This is funny.
This is Matthew. That's the 4 verse 13. We are the salt of the earth.
Anybody wants to join Jason Field?
We the salt of the earth. So when you got salt, you don't need to follow nobody around. Sit up here, do recon. Hey, where are you? I see said no camp. What's that camp spot? I see it going. You know what? Hey, Mike, you're coming in the good ditch. Is that what you doing? You coming in the good ditch? I wanted to die. If you coming, okay, and we not? I wanted to die. So you damn right. You are damn right I'm not. I'm willing to die for the Messiah. I'm willing to die for the Black Messiah.
How does the word of God get across here? You got two different groups, man, saying two different things, bringing out two different scriptures on two different microphones and amplifiers, drowning each other out. What benefit does anybody get? People watching this from the street are going to think this is lunacy, with good reason. And let me take the mute off because this thing gets.
No,
it's a 2-minute video.
They should deliver I would say you gotta deliver your own soul. Your own soul, bro. Your own soul. You can't express your heart, bro.
You trying to figure
I can see it. Somebody got a gun out on them, and you trying to say this like this.
Pause that real quick. So because the guy right here that's recording is closer to ISUPK, you can kind of hear what ISUPK is saying over IUIC, but they both have amplifiers. IUIC seems to have a bigger amplifier, and they have more people there also. But the ISUPK is claiming some homosexuality or some trans LGBT business going on with IUIC. Now, I don't know exactly where they get this from. Some of y'all might know. They're claiming that IUIC or a member or members of the IUIC is somehow involved with, some LGBTQ trans, because, these members, these two groups equally hate LGBTQ. But, there's going to be members that be on the down low or stuff like that, or maybe in their life before the cult, they went into certain things. Coming from the ICGJC, there were members that joined the ICGJC. I specifically remember in Orlando, there were two dudes that were definitely on some funny stuff, and they came in and tried to change, and they were out before the month was over, because you can't change these guys, man. The majority of the people that are that way are born that way, and there's no changing them. They're born that way. The Bible even tells you something like the crooked are born, that way, crooked from the womb. So, or the wicked are born crooked from the womb, or something along those lines.
What about Christ? Christ said, lay down your life for king that in John chapter 14.
What's your question, brother?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, okay, that's what. Don't sweat. Brother had a question. Well, he told me to read this again. Read it again.
You see the captain, you see the officer. They brought out pure fire. These brothers right here been going back and forth. The Olympics. Going back and forth with no order. And hardly any scriptures coming out. We're going to show them how we do it. We got 411.
That ain't never happened in the ISUPK. That ain't never happened before the commander giving you honor. You ain't never heard that happen before the honor group to when their brother took the word of God.
They're just talking over each other.
We got the word of God. It's nothing but spirit. I understand. Give me James chapter 1 verse 8. I understand because they don't got the spirit. The spirit of God is not in them. Let's prove it. Give me James chapter 1 verse 8. You're the kid who got to come in and put the right on the gate.
But turning attention to a relevant discussion of sex work. This devil got shot in the face.
That's what they are. You got the teacher preaching about preachers. That preachers is not a commandment.
To a gay massage parlor. And shot a white transgender in the face. This is a real article that you can look
Let's
up.
get James chapter 3 right quick. Let's get James chapter 3 and let's read those. Let's go right here. Let's go right here. James chapter 3 and verse 14.
Nobody's benefiting from this in the street.
And who is born with knowledge of what is wise man and has knowledge among you. Let's see, guys.
And they're almost in sync, like with each other. They're almost in sync as far as like the teacher starts teaching, and then they give it off to the reader almost at the same exact time. Now, you're gonna have to watch this guy in the red here, not the guy on the left with the hoodie, but the Israelite here in the red and the black pants, the red shirt and black pants on the right. He's going to be the one to get shit started. He pops off. He is the one. Now, to give him a little bit of credit, a member from IUIC did something to kind of set it off, but it wasn't no violence initiated until this cat stepped in. And you'll see, I'm kind of spoiling it, but I might have to fast forward. But there's a few things I want y'all to see. Like there's a few. This is like the battle for the damn corner, battle for the streets, like when drug dealers fucking try to take over the block.
All inside their doctrines. So we're looking at the word of God, guys. So it ain't good conversation.
By the name of God,
the riches of wisdom has the captain and the opposite. Now let's read verse 14. But if you have genuine envy
and shout out to FOPE Civil War. I've been on their channel before. Let me subscribe. I've been on their channel before, not the Civil War channel. I don't know which one it was. It's funny that this is FOPE Civil War because this is like a civil war here. this is the channel. If you want to find a full video on your own, watch it later or whatever. There it is, FOPE Civil War. It's 49 minutes, damn near 50 minutes. And you know, it was this, apparently this somebody went live. The dude from Defenders of Christ went live, must have posted this, I don't know where. And see, there's connections. There are, you know, some, what do you call it? Collaborating members from different groups that get along with each other. Sometimes these groups get along. Sometimes different members from different groups will get along individually. But as a whole, these guys are saying the same thing, that no, we're the ones that are chosen. No, we're the ones. No, it's us. No, you guys are evil. No, you're wicked. And it goes back and forth. And it's like you guys are all pulling the same scriptures. You're saying the same thing. What is the end result of this? There really is no solution to this. It's all about who has the most people, who can subdue who can overtalk who has the loudest speakers. It's not really about logic here. And you're going to see how this ends off. It's insanity. And it might be a little twist and a little surprise what happens at the end. But yeah, you'll see, man. But shout out to FOPE for uploading this.
But if ISUPK has envy and there's strife in their hearts, which they do, why would you bring up a woman by the name of Joy Morgan?
You see?
Overseas, when you read the book of Sirach, it says don't meddle in many matters. Go ahead, read it again.
They're talking about sister. ISUPK is mentioning the sister Joy Morgan. The sister Joy Morgan was an IUIC member, so the member of the Purple People group, that was murdered by her husband, who was also in the Purple People group, the IUIC, the Purple People leaders. And she was murdered. Her body was hidden. The dude was arrested and would not reveal to the police, to the law enforcement in London. This was over in I believe in London, definitely in England, where this woman's body was, this young sister. She was like 21, 22. He apparently got with her when she was underage, and he was like 36. The murderer. And they found her body eventually. You know, he gave it up. They promised him a lighter sentence. The mother was going insane, trying to figure out what was going on. The whole family, they hated the group from the beginning, just like my family hated the group. My cousin, who's still in the cult, you know, our family hated the cult when we first came in. They demand so much time from you. They isolate you from your family. They make you argumentative and aggressive. And, you know, this is what the ISUPK is hitting the IUIC group with and trying to drown them out by talking about Joy Morgan, you know, trying to embarrass them. And that's a good tactic. You know, I did the same thing, because it's like you call yourself the chosen nation, the chosen group, the chosen church. Why are people being murdered by members? Why are the sisters? Why is a sister being murdered by a brother in your group? You're supposed to be the church of God. Come on. Make it make sense.
Right. If you have envy and strife in your heart, glory not. Don't glory in that. That's what they do. They glory in the strife and the envy. They come out and set up where we at. We're glorying in your envy and your strife, God. And not against the truth. We not just see that. This is what they done. They tell lies and we think that we know how to keep the fringes. That's lying against the truth.
Yes. It is two Israelite fractions going head up. This is crazy. Two Israelites going head up, and they are actually getting violent a little bit. Not physical violence, but verbal violence. This is crazy, beloved. This is crazy. Israelite fighting Israelite. Let's get back to the show.
So shout out to this guy, actually, you know, because he's not part of FOPE, but FOPE just so happened to upload his video. So this is the guy behind the camera.
All of us have you on. Like emotional. That's what they are. Those are traits. Effeminate traits. Sexual emotion, guys. They are feminists, deceivers. When you teach against IUIC and you bring up different allegations and you can't prove it, what is that called?
Israel
That's gonna be deceptive. That's against the word of God.
Today,
Israel,
You know this is, brother.
Yeah.
They got wisdom of God.
Israel,
People are sexual.
Israel,
What a
Give me you.
united in Christ
give me
Church.
that, read.
He was definitely not in the ISUPK to be royal. He was goddamn man.
Every evil work
This
as you see
dude
when you
So
speak.
something just happened there.
Has condemned them. Now you can give it to.
Hey,
Rewind that real quick.
these guys is here.
So
The
it's
purple
getting
guys.
starting to get heated.
Got wisdom of God.
Purple people
Give me you. No, give me
are
that.
going
Read.
over to the side. They're moving their stuff. Mute this. They're moving their stuff over to the side where the ISUPK is at. The guy in the red is the one you got to watch. You see what he does? Damn, but then he flips it right there in the corner.
These guys is here.
Watch.
The purple guys is trying to push the other guys out the way.
Yeah.
They turn their speaker their direction and they move their cooler in their section. Just look at the speaker. It's facing the other Israelites. Check it out. And we ain't no cowards over here. That's right.
What else?
We ain't no cowards over here. Don't play with us. Don't play the game.
Chapter 3.
You don't play with us. Nigga. We ain't no cowards.
So they got the speaker now facing them. They're trying to drown them out and push them away. This is not how you go about trying to preach the word. You just look like a fool, man. This is infighting, not within the same group. What's up, D? So she's asking, what is this infighting? Technically, yes, because they're Hebrew Israelite groups, but they're two different Hebrew Israelite groups that pretty much preach the same. They pretty much teach the same stuff. There's probably one or two, just a few different doctrines, but they pretty much teach the same thing. So, yeah, let's get back to it. This is where it starts getting a little spicy.
It's striking your heart. Listen, we ain't out here for no physical war. We out here speaking spiritually the word of God. We out here to read this again. The Bible says if there be envy and strife in your heart, we ain't come out here for that.
So I kind of like ISUPK in this situation, to be real. I don't really like them overall, but I'm adding Jason Creed to the stream. What's good, bro? Are you
Hey,
here?
bro.
Hey, what's going on? You watching this?
I saw the whole video. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get back to it, but yeah, it's pretty much they're just drowning each other out. They're trying to speak over each other. This just looks bad. Nobody's getting the word of God. This is supposed to be you teaching, like this is supposed to be their flyer missions or AKA camps or street speaking, which is their opportunity to gain members from the outside, or what they call fruits, to gather the fruit from the outside, bring them in to the flock and save their soul. And anybody watching this from the outside this is not attractive at all, right, Jason? This is just
It looks like gang stuff.
exactly. It's like this is our block. Like,
yeah,
what's going on here? I'm gonna play it back though. Yeah, it's like the 16-minute mark, but
they don't have no order. They have no order because they hate us. They hate God. They hate the commandments. And that's what
it seems like IUIC is getting frustrated by them, and now they're trying to drown them out. Because I mean, they're both doing the same thing. They're saying, "No, we're the real ones. Nah, we're the real ones. No, you're wicked. Nah, you're evil." And it's like, what is this, man? You're over talking each other, you're screaming over each other. ISUPK, the ones on the left and the black, mostly black, started talking about the purple people and how Joy Morgan. Every time you bring up Joy Morgan, they don't like that. They're very hush about that sister who was murdered. By one of the brothers, by one of the ranking members.
Plus, there was one guy that had a tranny or something like that.
That's what they're talking about. There was definitely one guy who beat up a tranny and got arrested. Right. Is that the same guy? So he was messing with a tranny?
Yeah, I think he did. I think that they had a close relationship. I don't know.
That's what happened.
I mean, why is he beating her up?
Yeah. Right. That makes sense because he showed up to her place of employment. I've never done a video on that guy, but that guy was called like Jar Jar Bings. He's some funny looking guy, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And these are people that's supposed to hate the LGBT community and hate trans, gay, lesbian, all of that, but yet they are on the low messing, with them and saying, behind closed doors, they dipping in that and they're dipping their stick in that thing, and then saying that, this is not what you're supposed to do. This is evil. It's like, if you're gonna be that way, own it and be real about it. And
Well, see, nobody has a judgment on gay folks but gay people.
Right. And
I mean,
this is our belief.
Right.
This is what the Bible says, but it's like that sometimes there's internal struggles where you feel like you got to show out, and like you feel like you believe these things so much, and it hurts that now you got to show out and just expose this thing as if you hate it, but meanwhile, no, you actually just internally struggling, with yourself about what's really happening.
Right.
Now David Moses Israel said this looks like Babylon 2.0. Then you got D Boardroom. Yeah, this is funny stuff, man. I'm gonna get back to it.
That's what here we got the article right here. Let's see what the disciple Jews said out of his own mouth. Let's see what you said. Right before, yes, we're gonna read this right here. Come on. Right there, verse 12. In Indiana, we ain't never been charged with nothing like this.
I'm gonna mute that. Yeah, you see this guy standing there just kind of taunting them, looking at them. I don't understand why he's doing that at all. You know what I mean? Like, why is he facing them, and then they got their speaker facing them? And
well, see, this is where all the gangs come from. Groups like these. I mean, this is how it all starts.
Like color coding stuff, right?
And also with that and prostitutes. That's where gang members and thugs come from.
Yeah. So Jimmy Jordan, this is in Kansas City, in front of the public library right here. This building is the public library in Kansas City. I don't know the street. This is a waste of time. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of this. It's just bickering back and forth.
Look at all those men, all those dudes. They got all those dudes and all that potential. They could be taking that time that they're doing with all this crap and look at what they're doing. This is, I mean, the Bible is on its way out. That's just how it's on its way out. It's done.
This is craziness right here. Millennial, secular, and auth. Right. These guys are crazy. Oh, yeah. This is going to get crazier.
The age of the Bible is finished. It's just done.
Yeah. I mean, they have to start realizing there's going to be time that passes by where, like what this guy is saying, how long till IUSC tries to take over America? They're going to start pushing for more takeovers, for, more military and militant type stuff. Let me see what's going on. Let me see. It looks like they're forming. Looks like they're forming. They're getting in formation now. This is like where the chanting is going to start. You see how they're lining up? They're going to start doing something like a chant or something like that.
And it looked like some type of masonry, not masonry, but it looked like some type of frat boy type stuff going on right there.
Yeah, it definitely does. Deep. Yeah, like Freemasons. It seems like it. People talk about that before. How I think you mentioned it, and a few people mentioned before how this is like Freemason type stuff.
When I saw them doing that stomp thing, what they were doing, I've said, "What is this?"
Right? Yeah. They do. That's exactly what these frats do, right?
That's like a frat boy club,
right? Oh yeah. Let's do it like this. So yeah, that's cool. You see how they all lining up now? Yeah, this is let me take the mute off because mean, it's a little annoying. They're just being
man.
loud.
Having sex with transgender.
Now, when
You
Jesus
did
was
that in your
accompanied
organization.
in the house
And
of
then you
Simon
come
the
out
leper,
here on
there
the
came unto
corner
him a
in
woman
front of
having an
all the
alabaster
people
box
and
with
trying to
very precious
lie about
ointment,
it.
and poured it
You
on his head,
lie
and he
about
said,
it when it's right here.
when his
Every
disciples saw they had
reporter,
interceded,
Somebody honking their horn for some reason.
they have been sold for captives given to the poor. But when Jesus
And the
understood it, he said
IUIC
unto them,
defeat various
why
white
trouble ye the
nationalist groups
woman?
in combat. I wonder. They got the numbers, and they're pretty good with their hands. They definitely have like what the ICGJC had. We had our like our Sunday Hebrew academies, and then we also had the martial arts for an hour every Sunday. We had that. So this is so here it is. Thank you, King G, the boxologist. 30 it's on 31st and Prospect in Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so this is the public library on 31st and Prospect in Kansas City, Missouri. We got the location according to King G, the boxologist. You know,
That's very embarrassing.
yeah, this whole thing is embarrassing, man. David Moses. I think ISUPK gets arrested easily because their colored uniform look like gang style. Even their head cover and their attire looks violent. True Nation / Vessels of Truth wear red tees and no violence. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That black stands out. Their headpieces have like spikes and all these like metal things. They look like they're out of like the Road Warrior, Mad Max.
Star Trek or some shit.
No, it seems
The
like
Klingons.
it seems more like, you know, if you ever seen Mad Max with Mel Gibson,
Yeah.
Road Warrior, and just they're wearing like this apocalyptic type gear. You know,
Right.
it's like end of the world type stuff where you know there's no more Calvin Klein and Polo Ralph Lauren, and you got to dress like this now. So I mean, this is crazy. A lot of the WN groups train MMA. What is WN?
White nationalists.
White nationalists. Okay, yeah, let's put this back. Let's get this going. It's about to start like the crazy.
God says, wherever this gospel is preached in the whole world, because here in IUIC, under the Most High God, we go throughout the whole world. We are in Africa, we are in Brazil, we were all across Africa.
You see how when you read it, he trying to address this.
Not just no black, not just no solid black in Kansas City.
He don't want to address this.
They show us this. They show us this. That this
What do you have to say about one of their members?
Damn.
Here we keep God's commandments. We go stand.
Oh man, look at all this, man.
He can't wait for every
Grown ass men.
1973.
God damn.
He turned around and gave over as if he wanted to show. But now that we talking about that homosexual act that they did in that group, what are they doing? What are they doing? He brought his gay ass back over this time, didn't he? He can't address this. You understand? Read it again.
See, what the hell was that?
Was also reported
See,
that John
we used to do
understand.
the
Read
same.
it again.
We used to do the same thing in the ICGJC, something similar, but it's like Israel, we back, Israel, we back, and it's this constant chant, repetitive, yelling, rhyming. This is cult. This is a cult. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is what they do. Repetitive chanting. Let's hear that again.
The Courier and Press also reported
How they
that
end.
George Lewis using the
This is how they end their street speaking, and now they're packing it all up. This is where it starts.
with the Israel, with the what? With the Israel, with the what? With the Israel united in Christ. Now what you gonna say about that?
This guy
Now them
was
sisters
there.
gotta pack up and leave.
So that's where it starts.
What? With the Israel united
It
in
looks
Christ.
like for whatever reason, this guy right here on the
Now
right
what you gonna say about
touches the chair, and the guy that's on the left in the red sees that, runs over,
No.
boom, grabs the chair. And this is brother, this is over a chair.
They need jobs.
These people need something better to do with their lives. This
Yeah.
is not productive at all. This
No.
is over them touching a chair, man.
These guys are in their 30s and 40s, and they're out there with this type of shit. This is ridiculous.
Are they aware that the mainstream media is ignoring them? They only get press when there's controversy, when they sue. So they sued before, or they were being sued, and ISUPK also got sued. And they also held a Passover in a public place, a government building or something that's paid by taxpayers, and people were complaining that a Black nationalist group is able to hold their Passover in a place where taxpayer money, covers. So yeah, let me get right back to this though, because this is where it gets interesting. So yeah, the guy in the purple moves a chair, and there's way more people in the purple, and you're just gonna see a swarm of purple in a minute. But let me slow it down. Actually, that'd be better if I could slow it down. So
Sisters gotta pack up and leave.
there it goes. Yeah, let's slow this down. This is where it starts getting crazy. Guy in the red on the left. Guy on the right. That's the chair. Guy in the red. And then he pushes something that the guy has. Then okay. So it was actually dude in the purple that initiated physical contact. Let's pause that. So, okay, get off my chair. I'm going to push your thing now. So the guy in the red is pushing something, maybe the speaker. And then the guy in the purple pushes him. Boom. The guy in the red pushes back. Everybody swarms. And let's play this. Yeah, this guy took a swing right here. That guy appeared to take a swing. The guy that pulled up the swing.
What you gonna say about that? Now sisters gotta pack up and leave.
Yeah, this guy pulls up. He looks like he took a swing. Two people jump on him, and the third goes over there. They grab this guy up right here, and they're just jumping on him now. The guy that's filming is in the middle of the street. He could have got hit by a car. He needs to chill. You see? He's in the street right now. It's a little slow. I put it on 0.75 speed. Yeah, this is like what police do to detain somebody that's being unruly.
Stand still, bro. Stand your ass still. Stand your ass still, bro. Oh shit!
You got 3 dudes on one guy there. 4. These guys are like the feds. It's crazy.
Man, I knew that was coming.
Yeah, he said I knew that was coming. They don't even know what they're mad for.
Nah.
Crazy.
Nigga, I'm calm. Get the fuck off my stuff. Make sure. Big fat shit. You see
Yeah, this is. Let me put it on normal speed.
Yeah, these guys need jobs, man.
Yeah, this is not productive. This is nothing here. Like, you
Yeah.
got tables flipped over. You got four guys to one because there's only like 6 ISUPK guys, and there's like
That
30
was a hoax.
these guys.
Oh man, that makes
No, I'm not gonna do that, bro. Nigga,
that's just a black
no,
eye.
I was just not gonna do that, brother.
Now it's all peace, y'all.
I'm not gonna do with this. Sorry, brother.
I mean, this is
Got nothing to do with this.
black on Hispanic,
Don't lean on
Hispanic
that
on
chat.
black,
Don't
black
put
on
pressure
black,
on the show.
Hispanic on Hispanic. Look at this guy. He got his neck in a position that's crazy. This dude got two people on him. They gets a third in a minute because he don't want to chill. Who wants to be put down on the ground like this? For what? Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
No one's choking.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap, bro. That's a wrap.
This guy is kind of being choked though. Isn't this what they complain about that cops do to black people?
Yep.
I mean, Nathaniel is former NYPD, so
No one's choking you.
no one's choking. This guy's definitely being kind of choked there. He got his head in a little twist, like he's about to snap his neck. This guy's just on his back, and they're on his stomach.
You the softest one in here. You the softest one here, I can tell.
Jesus Christ. This is embarrassing. This is really bad. Come on, man. It's just another reason to bust a cap in somebody.
Yeah. What if one of them had a gun? This is Kansas City. I don't know the gun laws there.
What the fuck are y'all niggas even holding? It's like, why y'all touching us?
This is the new gang activity 2.0.
Your leader attacked us. He attacked us.
Yeah, this is crazy.
If you don't believe in my God, I'll bust a cap in your ass.
Insanity, man. It's just pure insanity. I can't believe this is going on with people that complain so much about what white people are doing.
This is very embarrassing. God damn.
ISUPK think they're better than every camp, especially IUIC. The same way some other camp. They all think they're better. IUIC thinks they're better than all of these guys. And yeah, all of them do, right? And that's how it is. GMS thinks they're better. Everybody thinks they're better.
Yeah.
Why you got clashes of personalities and damn, what do you call it? Egos just clashing left and right. No, my leader told me that we're the one. This just goes back and forth. Kansas City is a stand your ground jurisdiction.
Hey, watch people walking up.
It's innocent.
Watch people around. People around on the swivel.
You can buy anything legal in the federal law. Yeah, I thought so. Kansas City's gun, pro-gun. You can carry, so open carry, right? Yeah. I do. Oh, all right. Yeah, Steve Hoffa. So I do believe Missouri's open carry. I think so too. Yeah, you're right.
Here come IUIC homeboys. Let me go. That's what happened when the truth come out, no cap.
Yeah, this is disturbing for peace.
That's what happened when the truth come out of why? That's what happened when the truth come out. You understand?
I don't know.
We see who's doing the work of God.
I don't know who's
we see
yelling.
who's doing the work of God.
That's the ISUPK guys.
The one that's on his back on the floor there?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Legion of Doom.
The first cop passed by. Like, that's the end of an era, man. That's it. You said you don't want no cops around you, right? That's it. The cop just went on by.
Yeah.
Let's go someplace else.
Andrea, I don't know if you understand what classifies a hate group. It's classified. It can be classified by speech.
I don't know. Talk to you brothers.
So your speech alone can be classified as hate. If you're saying that white people are the devil, that white people are going to go into slavery, whether you say that it comes from the Bible or not, just because you're saying that, you could be labeled a hate group. I don't know if you understand that. I don't know what you mean also by they don't bother nobody. As you can see right here, they were the ones that initiated the physical contact here. They first grabbed the people's property, the ISUPK, and try to push that out the way. They had speakers facing the ISUPK for whatever reason, and just because they outnumber the ISUPK, now they got 3 men on top of 1 people. You're telling me not to see what I'm seeing, that the IUIC, they don't bother nobody. What is happening here? They were the ones that initiated the contact. They grabbed the dude's chair. The dude pushed, I guess, a sign or a speaker. And because IUIC thinks that they could get away with stuff that others can't get away with, they said, why are you touching my stuff? I could touch your chair, but you can't touch my stuff. Let me push you. So that's what happened. The dude from IUIC pushed one of the guys that was wearing the red in the ISUPK. And then that was the beginning of it. The IUIC initiated this in many ways, not only by touching the property first, antagonizing them, intimidating them, facing them, looking at them. I mean, listen, they all gonna preach whatever they're gonna preach. These are both hate groups that they hate each other. They're talking about, no, we're the truth. And like, I understand you might be a member, but IUIC also is guilty. Members are guilty of committing all types of violence. One IUIC member against a transgender woman, and another IUIC member killed his wife, Joy Morgan, in England. That's a fact. He was part of the IUIC. So yeah, most hate groups are nonviolent. That's true. They already know the deal. The patriots of whatever, they're nonviolent, and these are like an alt-right group that were chased out of Philadelphia a few years ago.
A lot of white nationalists are non-violent.
Yeah, they're nonviolent. Some things happen with certain individual members, and same thing happens in the IUIC. There are members that get physical, there are members that get violent, but overall, these groups teach hate as doctrine. They teach slavery. They teach that that their children shall be slaughtered for the acts of their fathers in Isaiah, right? Isaiah chapter 21, I believe. Or Isaiah chapter, 14, verse 21. Prepare a slaughter for the children for the sins of their father. Now they take that and say that, see, this is talking about white people. White people and white children today deserve to be dashed against the stones and all this craziness, man. That's hate speech. If white people spoke like that about black people, you would be mad too, rightfully. So like, it's hate speech. That's it. That's not true. People are wicked, brother. Repent. Yeah, people are wicked. This is wicked shit right here that's going on. How do you get into an altercation? You're supposed to be the nation of God and all of this. How do you have members in your nation that are murdering their wives? Like you're supposed to, that doesn't make sense. What is defined as a hate group is purely the subjective classification of groups like the ADL and SPLC. Right. And their definition is based on hate speech or actions, pretty much. But yeah, just simply speaking hate and selling it as doctrine. I mean, the IUIC teaches that Asians have Down syndrome. Like,
Right.
what the hell? You're saying that Asians have Down syndrome, like that is your doctrine. You're saying that a whole and Asians are also, East Indians are Asians too. So y'all gotta like revamp your doctrine, because you have West Asians that are in India. India is in Asia. So
Well, they really meant the people like Chinese people, Japanese people, mainly them.
right, yeah. Japanese, they call it Mongoloidism.
Yeah.
And what they don't understand is that incest doesn't cause Down syndrome. I made a whole
No.
video on that. It's called Asian Hate Part 2, that's specifically dealing with mostly what IUIC has put out there, but all Hebrew Israelites pretty much teach. Even when I was in the ICGJC, the doctrine for Moab and Ammon being the Japanese and the Chinese is that what was it? Noah was not Noah. It was what's his name? From he came out of Sodom and he escaped from Sodom and Gomorrah.
Lot.
Right. So Lot's daughters had two children, and it was Moab, and I forgot what Ammon's actual birth name. But it wasn't Ammon. He was just the progenitor of the Ammonites, according to this story. And then the Hebrew Israelites say, you see, this is why Asians look this way. They have the Down syndrome look because blase blah, Lot had sex with his daughters and had kids. And it's like, you see white people that commit incest, like that shit was just recently banned in states like Arkansas and Kentucky. Like I think incest was just banned in like 2002 in Kentucky or something like that. And you see their children, they don't come out looking Asian.
No.
There's I did the whole video, man, what happens in Dominican Republic, because in Dominican Republic there's towns where there aren't a lot of people around. So and Hispanics do this a lot. Hispanics be sleeping with their cousins, man. They do this a lot. And their kids don't come out looking Asian. They come out having sexual reproduction issues. That's happening.
Cross eyes.
Yeah, with all types. Not just that, they have like retardation, and it's not. They don't get that look from Down syndrome. Down syndrome.
Well, wasn't Ted Bundy part of the incest?
Probably Ted Bundy.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, because he was a lawyer.
Yeah, a lot of crazy. He was a what?
He was a lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was a child of incest, but that's definitely has nothing to do with, So IUIC definitely teaches hate. They hate white people, all white people. They generalize all white people based off actions that some white people have done in the past, and just put all these sins on them from the fathers, and it's like the father's sins are now put upon the child, as if it's okay for you to take like let's say Ted Bundy's son took trial because of what Ted Bundy did. If Ted Bundy goes out and murders people, I wouldn't expect his son or his daughter to be taken to court for the sins of his father. That doesn't make any sense. The whole doctrine is backwards as hell. And even the scripture in Deuteronomy 24:16 says, the child shall not pay for the sins of the father, neither shall the father pay for the sins of the son. So then, if that's the case, if that's logical to God, if that was okay back then in Deuteronomy, now all of a sudden in Isaiah chapter 14, prepare a slaughter for the sins of the children. Well, this is a contradiction right here. It's clear. But let's get back to the video, man. I took a little detour with this Andrea chick.
OG, this is what happened when the truth come out.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Do this shit every day. They ain't used to hearing the truth for the first time in their life.
Yeah, this is bad, is what this guy's saying.
Come off my back. What's going on? I can't move. So just come off my back.
Lot was raped by his daughter.
Look at a back brace on.
Yo, yeah, this guy right here is in a chokehold, man. That dude right there is in a chokehold. There's no doubt about it. That's a dangerous story. I mean, it can be. So I don't know where this guy's left on.
Three dudes. You got three dudes. Come on, man.
Yeah, they on his legs. This is very dehumanizing.
Yeah.
Like, this was just a reaction to, one guy pushing, and it's like, who are you to think you could just jump on people and neutralize? Like, these cats think like there's some authority. And yeah, this right here, this hold You got the left arm under the neck, and you got the right hand twisting his neck, pushing his head down, which twists your neck. That's a Chuck Norris move, man. I've seen that before. That's definitely, you know, some type of martial arts training that this guy might have. Because that's a move right there, man. That you get in that position, you could really do some damage. So that this is really dehumanizing, and I wonder what the reaction is going to be. I think this just happened yesterday. This is the Sabbath day.
Hey.
Not around this way. He's resting on the floor.
Oh, there you are. You good?
I'm good.
Yeah, you good?
Oh man.
Okay, I know. I heard they was trying to pick on you because you were standing around or something. They was hollering. You good?
I'm good, brother.
Oh, okay.
These brothers got.
He said he was just watching. I heard you say you was just, you know, you were when they like, oh, it's quiet time now. Nah, he said he wasn't with him.
Curtis.
What's up, dog? We good. Everybody coming up here.
This is a crazy scene, man. This is insane.
Y'all handling y'all business.
Make sure you can breathe, man. Bring your head to the side. We're gonna stay here till we stay here, bro. We all
We'll
right.
stay here till we stay here.
We're out here for this.
I'm watching on camera. I seen what happened. I'm watching on camera.
I'm trying to get past. That's what truck.
Yeah, for the cops. Now the cops pull up.
I walked past one time. Police went that way. This is crazy, bro. Black against black. Y'all can fight each other. Y'all crazy. Oh. Y'all trying to tell us black people some of y'all been fighting each other. Y'all, bro, this is crazy.
Damn.
I'm watching on them on camera.
See, people are pulling up. People are pulling up that was watching this guy's live. Because this video right here was live. And people start pulling up on this whole scene. And they said, well, I was watching this on camera. Whoever's talking right now in the background. No, the wives don't have to make the robes. Some of them do, but not. I mean, there was a sewing department in the ICGJC. I'm pretty sure they probably have that in these other groups. And yeah, there's mostly women up in there. And I don't think they was getting paid. But my grandmother made some of the garments that I would wear, but I couldn't. It wasn't the official ranking garment. Like the church has these ranking garments that they have to pay for. We had to pay for, and I'm pretty sure IUIC has to pay for. And I'm not sure if they give any of the proceeds to the people that are making it. They might, because I think the ISUPK, I think the ICGJC started doing that later on, but it's not necessarily like a wife has to make it or nothing, but there's a department that takes care of those things, and there's like people that sew, or they can actually get it done by a third party company or something like that. I'm not sure how IUIC does it. ISUPK doesn't seem to have uniform garments like the ranking garments. Like this right here, the purple these are uniform garments. You see some people are wearing shirts. Some of them have like a cape type thing. The ones with the capes, those are the ones that are like higher ranks. But these guys that are just wearing shirts, like this guy's just wearing a shirt, he's probably one of the lower rank soldiers or recruits or whatever. And these guys that are wearing the actual garments like him and him right here on the left and the right, they're probably more I don't know if you can see my arrow, but they're probably, let me see. Yeah. The guy on the left is probably more like a general. Like they have this ranking structure. So Let me see. I remember one body Dallas Israelite leader got arrested from police because of how loud and radical he was preaching in the corner and recorded himself after getting out of jail and not guilty. So he was found not guilty. Yeah, I mean, you can get arrested for disorderly conduct. These people are constantly, disturbing the peace. Just like you could get, that's actually a charge. Disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct, obstruction is another charge that I've seen Hebrew Israelites get arrested for. When a cop comes over, tries to figure out what's going on, or tries to arrest one person, and here comes somebody else making noise, and so and so. But they're getting in the way and obstructing the officer, either by yelling or trying to step in the way, or even grabbing. You don't even have to grab the officer to get charged with obstruction.
All Christians go to the streets and do whatever the fuck they want to do. And then they go to church and thank God forgave them for that.
This is crazy.
Hey man, Popo's like, hey man, police right here. Police grabbing you, bro. The police got you, bro. Hey, bro, the police got you now. I know the police owe you though. Yes, the police, bro.
Now she just showed up there out of nowhere talking about why they got to be on the ground with the cops there.
Hey man, the police right here.
She's blaming the cops.
Grabbing you, bro. The police got you, bro.
You see him?
Hey, bro, the police got you now. I know the police owe you though. Yes, the police, bro. Police, bro.
Putting them on the ground.
It's police, bro. Back up, baby, please.
No, why they putting them
They
on the
getting him out.
ground?
The police here now. They got it.
Why they putting them on the ground?
They had a black against black fight.
This is what
That's not the police doing that.
That's her husband.
Why you
I have no idea.
He said, "Why you handcuffing my man?" Yeah, it don't make no sense why they're handcuffing these guys, right? That doesn't make any sense to me. It just looks like these guys are not violent and they're just holding them down. And it's like, well, but they initiated the whole thing. How are you gonna start an altercation like this and then try to neutralize it, and then the other guys are to blame? Like they're putting ISUPK in cuffs right now. And this lady just said, "Why do you got my man? Why you got my man?"
They had a black against black
Why you
fight.
put handcuffs on my man?
That's not the police doing that.
Why you
Why you
Back up. Y'all get out their way. Let them do their job.
Yeah, back up, little man.
That's her man.
Let these guys.
She said, "Back up."
Yeah,
on my
I saw. They were messing with it over a chair or something, man. That's
man.
crazy.
Over a chair.
They need jobs, man. They need lives, man. That's it. That's the wrap.
Over a chair, man.
They need hobbies.
Y'all trying to teach us something.
They could have just left.
How y'all trying to teach us something?
y'all ain't getting nothing wrong.
They could have just
Y'all
left.
ain't getting nothing
They could have just left.
Come on, man. Don't.
Crazy.
I know.
They're arresting ISUPK.
Man, what they do wrong? I want to know what they did wrong.
It's a camera right there, bro.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why
Oh,
they
it's
took
on
it
camera.
over. They
It's on.
kicked it
It's
over.
on camera.
You just saw him kick it over.
It's on camera.
He kicked it over purposely. Thank you, man.
Yeah, y'all get on that side.
This
'Cause
is
they
crazy,
handcuffed me.
man. How the IUIC is holding ISUPK members for the police. What is going on here? This just doesn't make sense. It's the uniform. Everyone there is in the same thing here, as if there's some kind of order there. Yo, I can't believe this though right here. The IUIC is holding down the ISUPK for the cops, and the cops just come and arrest the people that are being held down as if they were the problem. You know what I mean? Like as if they were getting unruly. Now,
Well, they called them. They're the ones that called the cops.
okay.
Yeah.
That's the order that we used to get in the ICGJC, is immediately call the cops if we need to, if there's an altercation, so that way we could avoid, getting arrested or whatever. Because usually when you call the cops, you I guess have the upper hand, but they're still gonna come and take statements from everybody. The cops did that pretty good. It would have been better if they would have checked the cameras and seen, what actually went down, because they were saying, like, one of the guy that's recording was saying that he recorded everything. So If this ever happens again, I would say to them, acknowledge me, like the heathens are gonna acknowledge us Israel when they go into slavery. Yeah, I don't know, but let's go ahead and play.
Y'all messed over these guys, so y'all not getting handcuffed. So yeah, they getting handcuffed, and they was just trying to get their chair. They was trying to get their chair, and they getting handcuffed.
Right.
Yeah, it's on camera, bro. They was trying to get a chair, and they started jumping on. Outnumbered.
Yeah.
Baby girl, chill out. That ain't what it's about. That ain't what it's about, baby.
She needed to relax.
Yeah.
She's wilding out.
Hey,
She's looking for
that ain't what it's about.
It was like this whole her reaction is completely unnecessary because look,
it's making it worse.
Exactly. ISUPK is calm, and the result ended up being good for them. But yeah, just he sounds like a dude.
Baby girl, baby girl.
See there. She didn't help anything.
Okay. I was just asking.
Everything was peaceful as it was. Then here she comes.
Back up. Baby girl. No, let it go. We get him there, please. Let us get him. Okay. I was just asking to get her, bro. That's all, bro.
Man, he ain't a cop.
I got you, bro. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I seen you watching.
He is a cop.
Brother, you gonna be just like them, Doc.
Hold on, that guy in the red is a cop.
Okay. I was just asking to get her, bro. That's all, bro.
Man, he ain't a cop.
I got you, bro. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I seen you watching.
Brother, you gonna be just like them, Doc. Calm down. You gonna be just like them.
You just quit joking, baby girl.
But he is.
Baby girl, just quit joking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand that he's a cop now. I just seen the gun hanging out his pocket.
She's calling a black man boy. This is an officer arresting her. He's a black man. He's a boy?
He's a cop now. I just seen the gun hanging out his pocket.
Baby girl,
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna stand my ground. I ain't gonna argue with him.
Got it. They not doing nothing wrong.
Guy in the red got a gun.
Hey, they gone. Now they about to leave. They assaulted these people when they about to go.
Yeah, they about to leave. You see them trying to leave?
Oh my goodness. They walking away. They the ones jumped on them.
Right.
They jumped on them, bro.
They trying to get away quick.
Yeah.
Damn, they gone.
You knew it was coming. Put me up. You knew it was coming. You saw it coming. Leonard J, the watchman. The watchman. He saw it coming. I got you back. Yeah, I got you back. How about you? I heard you when you said, and I'm just watching. I ain't with him. He was like, oh, it's all quiet now. It's all quiet now. Yeah, I got in the car. Man, I was chilling out watching this stuff, man. He said something to you. I jumped in.
That's the show.
You going to jail, bitch. You going to jail, bitch. You going to jail, bitch. What that black officer? You motherfucking nigga ass officer.
What the hell?
You going to jail. Y'all kill my daddy. Donnie's daddy. Don't play with me.
Crazy.
Mental illness.
That's an ISUPK sister. That's exactly what I expect from an ISUPK sister, by the way.
Where my dress at?
Yeah. They are the most craziest, one of the craziest.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just.
That's when I stood on my
Yeah.
That's the police.
Right.
I see you sitting back watching.
Get the fuck on. You better get the fuck on, man. You better get the fuck on. You better get the fuck on,
So
boy.
ignorant.
I'm not playing with you.
But today I seen
I'm dealing with
I hate when people try to act all tough and they're in handcuffs. I'm not playing with you. You can't
Yeah.
do shit. You're in handcuffs. It's time for you to pipe down. Like, what the hell? Crazy. Move to outer space. I agree, man. David Moses Israel. I agree. This is not a good look for the Hebrew Israelite community at large.
They've been
You got
taking some else, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they've been taking some else for sure. I mean, didn't the IUIC go out to Buffalo after the shooting out there in the top supermarket by that white supremacist, racist, right, alt-right guy, whatever, Peyton Grandin, I believe his name was.
Mhm.
IUIC went out there, and I put it on my page. They almost got into it with BLM. Because they're out here, they're out there cursing out the white man this, the white man that, and it's like there's white people there in solidarity with the victims' parents, with the victims' family members, and it's like you blaming all white people, you getting mad over some one white dude, and it's like that never happens the opposite way. Like when that black dude ran over all those white people in that parade in Waukesha,
Mhm.
people out there wasn't no white supremacy group coming out there saying black people are the devil and all this. It's like it happens both ways. It actually happens more often. Black on white violence actually happens way more often than white on black. I got
Mhm.
all the stats on that if y'all want to see that later. But yeah, the black on black stuff like this, that shit is happening at an all-time high right now. It's happening so constantly, man. In all these cities, Kansas City it's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as like St. Louis, Missouri, which is the same state. St. Louis is pretty bad, man. There's a lot of black on black, and I never see nobody up in arms about that. When
No.
it's on black, it's always when it's white on black, which happens
Right.
rarely. I mean, this is like the like it's I think the ratio for black on white compared to white on black is 44-1. That means for every 44 times that a black on white incident happens, one white on black incident happens. Every time 44-1 was the ratio that the Bureau of
Mhm.
Justice had put out. And it's insane. Yeah, it's media is stuck on white guilt. They love to show the white people as the victim, as the aggressor, the devil. It's very similar to it's playing right into the IC to these Hebrew Israelite groups. It's playing right into it. Is that a transgender female? Oh man, nah,
That's what I'm thinking. That's what
that,
I'm thinking.
that's one of the ISUPK. That's one of the wives of the ISUPK member.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she was yelling about because her man was the one that was all the way on the right that had the two or three dudes on top of him and he was on his stomach. Remember, she said, "That's my man. Why you putting handcuffs on my man?" Remember, that's why she started getting rowdy because her man was getting handcuffs put on him. And you could get handcuffs put on you and just be detained. Just because you got
Mhm.
handcuffs on you doesn't mean you're getting arrested. And
Mhm.
this sister is blowing everything up. She has no. This is not how a sister's supposed to be acting according to the Bible and
Mhm.
according to what these men preach. This is not how a sister's supposed to conduct herself. But yeah, I would think that this is a dude. That's why I'm saying she's acting like a dude. She has a rough voice. That it does seem Samson 12321. It does seem like this is a transgender. She's so masculine. It's crazy as hell.
Big
Low,
and broad too.
yeah, low self-esteem is a problem. Yeah, man. And the church doesn't help. The ISUPK, the cult don't help with the self-esteem, especially with the sisters.
It's two different groups trying to preach the same thing, but not going with each other. They're going against each
Yeah.
other.
Man, you hear her?
Mental illness.
She's out of control. Yo.
Crazy.
She's like a rabid dog.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
I can be agitated. You agitated, don't you? Yeah, because y'all have no reason.
I can't believe it. I just hit 4,000 subscribers. Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's it for the Bible, man. That's a wrap, bro. That's a wrap. Bible, the Abrahamic faiths are on their last days, bro.
They did what they had to do.
There's more. This is
They had to
pushing
regulate
more
each
people
other.
out of the community.
A lot of
Huh?
people be their family.
This is pushing stuff like this pushes people out. Like
Yeah.
it's just like it deters people away. This is
Well,
why
if they're fighting and the regular black folks are fighting and then they're fighting, then what's the difference?
right. It's like the Nation of Islam, like D. Boudreaux was saying. This is why the far left defends Islam. These Hebrew Israelites aren't far from the Nation of Islam with their hatred. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Nation of Islam is more organized, though.
Oh yeah, and think
The
about
Nation of Islam don't play games.
yeah, and think about how far how they predate this movement, and I mean, well,
Actually, though, this movement is older than the Nation of Islam.
You're right. You're right. That's why I stopped.
I mean, the Hebrew Israelites are about 200 years old, at least.
like 130.
Yeah.
As far as we know, it goes back to 1880.
Right.
1882, I think, is the official date that Abu had found some stuff, and Vocab Malone found some ancient stuff, man. Like they
yeah.
But yeah, the nation
some of the stuff dates back to Africa too.
Yeah, well, there's some African, there's definitely some Hebrew Israelites in Africa,
in Nigeria and places like that.
The Igbo tribe, but they're not they have very little Hebrew Israelite DNA when they did.
No, I'm not speaking about the DNA.
Oh,
I was speaking about
religion. Oh, right.
Yeah, timeline.
Right. Yeah. There were definitely black Jews. Even in Portugal, there were some black Jews.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to distinguish because back then, like they'll use the term black for like just dark skinned, European.
Well, see that they're using the term black like the white people back then used the term black.
Okay, like swarthy.
Yeah, like that's what the white folks from down south taught. This is everybody that if you had a drop of black blood in you, you're black.
Right.
And if you even look black, if you were dark skinned, you're basically black. See what I mean? Yeah. That's how they looked at things.
None of this has any mainstream influence. It's tough to say, because I remember having a conversation with someone about how mainstream and how well known this is. This is pretty well known.
This is well known.
I mean, I don't think people they just kind of like fly below the radar or something. It's like people just don't take them serious, which to me is that's my problem with it. Like I'm over here trying to put people on to how dangerous these things can be, and it can be, just as dangerous as white nationalism, but it seems like white nationalism is taken more serious, like I was watching a news report and it was pretty old because I'm doing a video on fake racism, just all the fake racism, like Jussie Smollett type stories that people have been pushing. That's like, it's not racism. This is like nothing happened here. It's a false alarm. Like that bike lady in New York City, the city bike Karen, they call her. Fake racism. There was no racism. She pulled out the receipts and now everybody's Everybody's going back and eating their words, but it's stuff like that. And there was this one story, and I'm like, this is not even racism. It was a sign put up on a corner of some major intersection that said "Stop White Hate," and that right there was portrayed as this is racist because somebody's saying to stop white hate. They're saying this somebody put up a racist sign, and so it was taken down, and they made it all seem like this is like a racist thing, and it's like the sign says stop white hate. If you switch it up and put stop black hate, that's not racism. So why would it be racism to say stop white hate? And there's tons of white hate out here. White people are being hated on a level that I've never seen before. It's insane. The media is going along with it. The mass media from NBC to CNN, the Washington Post, they are putting white people on the forefront. All you hear about is January 6th, January 6th. They're still talking about what happened. They called it an insurrection. That shit was the weakest so-called insurrection ever, man. There were guards in not the White House, in the Capitol, escorting like that. What do they call him? The MAGA shaman, the guy with the horns or whatever, that hat or whatever, the shaman hat. They were escorting him to like the main lobby. Like this wasn't no like takedown of the government. It was like just a bunch of buffoonery, and I really wonder what was going on there on the inside. It seemed to be some cooperation with some of the cops or the officers who were in the Capitol.
To me, January 6th, that was like legendary.
Right. Yeah, January.
Like
6th.
That's the beginning of the American Civil War, basically.
Yeah, but and then they're arresting people. They're charging.
The second one, excuse me.
They charged so many people since January 6th. They're still talking about it. That shaman, that MAGA shaman guy, whatever they call it, he got like 4 years.
Yep.
There are people that commit rape or that shoot kids that have gotten probation. People that have killed others unintentionally that have gotten probation and no jail time. This guy got 4 years, bro. I can't. It's crazy. That's why I go back and forth with certain like former Hebrew Israelites, some that I've had on this channel, and they're constantly talking about how.
Well, it also depends on the laws and what type of statutes and the laws. It varies.
Right.
You got to keep that in mind too.
The Portuguese invented racism. Before the Portuguese, no one was racist. I don't know about that. I do not agree with that. Racism is right in the Bible, I think.
It's all throughout the Bible, right?
Yeah, you can find racism in the Bible. Just Deuteronomy 7:6. Like God said, He created the children of Israel above all people. You are my people. Other people are like nothing, a drop of a bucket. The nations, that's like racism. That's you're choosing one race over another. And naturally, if you think you're chosen by God, your race is chosen by God. You're gonna think your race is superior than others. You're gonna be practicing all types of racism unintentionally, just naturally. Racism as a definition means that you're discriminating on somebody based on race, though. Scheme Hoffa. Racism means you're discriminating based on race. That's been happening. That's been happening since the beginning of time, since the beginning of the human species, pretty much. Babylon, America will fall because Babylon is the murderer. The murderer. Babylon is the murderer. I don't know what that means, but other people remember the book was written by man. Yeah, but historically, before the Portuguese, I mean, we're talking about 1300s, 1500s Portuguese. There was racism in the Middle East during the golden age of Islam. Muslims were fighting, against other races. Like, no, man, there's people have been racist. That doesn't make sense. Since race was a thing, people have been racist. Since people were able to tell a difference between themselves and somebody else, they would think, "Oh, this guy's different than me. He's not like me," and and yeah, there goes racism. Let's get back to this video, though, man. I think we missed it.
Well, apes do the same thing too.
Yeah, right. They discriminate like even animals, right?
Right.
But
Primate.
definitely, yeah, but definitely racism. I wouldn't say was started by the. I definitely won't say it was started. I don't even know what that means. It was started by the Portuguese.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that's not true.
I don't know what that means. If you define, it depends how you define racism, because they've changed the term for racism now. Because they say black people can't be racist. I've heard that. I've heard Israelites say that, and it's like, yo,
racism is when you have the ability to choose somebody for a job or something like that. Prejudice is when you're judging somebody based on things of a culture or a group of people.
right?
You're prejudging that person before they even had a chance to do anything. That's being prejudiced.
Prejudice. There's bigoted.
Right.
There's discrimination. But to me,
but it's not impossible for black folks to be racist. If a black person, I'm sorry.
If we change the definition, because there's two different definitions, I think that's the problem, and people start talking around each other. But one definition is when you discriminate based on race. But like what you said, if you use power, plus prejudice,
that's racism.
That's another form. I think that's systemic racism. So there's already a term for that, and yet they've changed the term, the definition of racism, to mean power plus prejudice. But I thought that's what systemic racism means. When you're using,
I don't think it's systemic. I just think it's just racism.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, racism is just discriminating based on race, and which black people, even if you change the definition to it having to do with getting a job or being approved for a loan or anything like that, black people are still able to do that.
Black people can do that. That they have the ability to do that. I mean, the average black person could do that if they wanted to. I mean, all they got to do is set up an LLC and not hire white folks.
And there are banks. There are black banks. There's Tyler Perry has his own movie studio in Atlanta. You got Oprah Winfrey has her own network, and so much more. You got Quincy Jones, who owns so much. You got Russell Simmons, P. Diddy, T.I. I mean, so much power in the black community. It's derogatory to me to say that black people can't be racist because black people don't have power. I hear that a lot. I've heard that from liberals, white liberals, black liberals. I've heard that from black people.
It's really about class. It's really about class. They're being separated by class.
Yeah. Look how Tazadakia was able to get 18 months for $5.3 million. He had the power and the money to get a good lawyer. O.J. Simpson somehow got off. You got people that are in positions, regardless of race, that get away with shit. Will Smith was able to smack Chris Rock on national TV, and he didn't get arrested. I mean, what do you call that?
I mean, you now see, my thing about Will Smith is he didn't get arrested and he didn't get banned from the Oscars.
I think he did get banned.
Well, for like 10 years, though?
I think
that's a love tap.
I don't think they did it immediately, but I think eventually the Oscars said that they're banning him. Yeah, I think it was 10 years, right?
Yeah, they banned him for 10 years, and that's like a love tap. That's nothing. To me, if you're going to do something ridiculous, something ridiculous and stupid should basically happen to you.
Right.
Like Will Smith should have been permanently banned. Totally.
I mean, Chris Rock didn't want to press charges. The guy that was running, the director of the whole Oscars that night, was black.
That made him look bad.
Regardless. Yeah, I mean, it made people look bad for sure. I think Will Smith looked the worst, and I don't think he's gonna ever recover from that. until maybe if he comes back to the Oscars 10 years later and wins something, then he's probably going to get a standing ovation.
I will never watch his shows ever again.
I don't like Will. I never liked Will Smith like that.
I hate him now.
I thought he was a horrible rapper. I don't think he was funny. He used to act gay to appear humorous. Remember he did that a lot? And
yeah.
What was that funny? Isn't that kind of making fun of gay people or something? But he would constantly do that. And I stopped. You know, I like Jazzy Jeff. I like Carlton. I used to like the show. I used to like Hillary and the Butler or whatever, Jeffrey. Like it was a good produced show. NBC put on a they had a big budget for that guy. Will Smith was the star, and it was kind of cool. It was just a thing for its time. But as I got older, I started realizing I don't really like Will Smith. I don't think he's that great of an actor. He has a few good movies here and there, but I don't really think he was that good. I think he's a little bugged out. Like as a person, his politics, his beliefs, his worldview is crazy as hell. And his wife is even more crazy. And I just think that they both I don't know, man. They're perfect for each other. Did you see Marlon Wayne's stand-up talking about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith and all of that?
Vaguely.
Yeah. But let's go back to this video, man. We kind of got sidetracked here.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I don't mind no conversation.
You ain't getting my motherfucking name in. Get my motherfucking name,
You won't shut up, man. But I think that's her man right here with the beige. He's on the floor.
Yeah, man.
He was the one that she was complaining about, the one with the headpiece. I'm big there. I'm sitting on the floor. It's like the over there talking to IUIC. None of these cops are losing their jobs. Kansas City Public Library.
Shut up! Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I was just making sure you was losing your job, bitch.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I don't even work with them. Y'all fuck with them for no reason.
Yeah, her husband probably was saying, "Yo, shut up." Her husband's not saying shit. Nobody's correcting her.
Because
you would think him being a Hebrew, like he would said something.
I know, yeah, especially ISUPK. You know, they supposed to be like one of the most aggressive brothers in the whole community.
No, he scared her. He's scared.
Get down first. Yeah, down first. Yeah.
But they're the ones that spelled false.
Actually, both of them.
I haven't heard them, but I hear them.
It's the same thing with different group. Same thing, different group.
Jesus.
So what she got to do? She's drunk. She's on drugs.
Damn. What did he say? I think
she's just drunk of some sort.
He's drunk. You heard what the
I haven't heard them, but I hear them all the time.
It's the same thing with different group. Same thing, different. Down first, yeah.
But they're the ones that spelled false.
Actually, both of them.
I haven't heard them, but I hear them all the time.
It's the same thing with different group. Same thing, different group. So what she got to do? She's drunk. She's on drugs. Yeah, she's just drunk of some sort.
Got nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah, she came over here talking because she saw them on the ground. They was holding them down. Come over and said, "Why y'all holding them down?" And she's just still going on.
Nah, you see what he just said? That's true because he got it recorded. But I definitely heard her say, "Why you putting handcuffs on my man?" I definitely heard her say that, and she got the headpiece on. I think she's a Hebrew Israelite sister. Like, why is she there protecting the ISUPK? The ISUPK are the type of dudes that be having their wives come to these street speaking things, to these things. Like IUIC don't really do that, and the ICGJC didn't really do that. Like, I mean, it was a time when we did, but for the most part, they would stay in the car or something. Like, they don't come out. So I don't know. Maybe she saw it on the live, what was going on, and then she pulled up.
Damn, that's like a mama's boy complex.
Right.
That's a mama's boy complex.
I think that's what happened, but
that's messed up. That's messed up, man.
ISUPK should be a discontinued camp, like what Jeremiah 17:4. ISUPK should be folded like a sporting franchise. All right, Scheme Hoffa, I'm gonna check out that info, man. Fortune went to slave trading. Yeah, I mean, I know that the Portuguese are one of the first slave traders, but that doesn't mean racism, which means that you hate someone based on their race, or you discriminate, or you think less of them based on their race, began in the 1400s with the Portuguese. Like,
I think when you talk about racism, you can track that down to India or the Middle East.
Yeah, man, during the time of Jesus Christ, and with the Romans, the Greeks,
right?
Greeks weren't racist against the Egyptians, or the Greeks weren't racist against the Israelites or Africans.
The Greeks were definitely racist against the Egyptians.
Yeah. Are we talking about the word racism, or as we know it, racismo in Spanish? Or whatever?
We're talking about the modern, the birth of racism in terms of what we basically know it now.
Right. Okay. Like,
so when you think of like the caste system in India, that's really where it started from. Technically, it's one of the birthplace of racism. You know, I mean, India.
If I'm just going by the basic definition, that racism means you discriminate based on race, I think that shit's been going on since before we could even record. And
I guess so.
Communicate. That's been going on in somebody's head. They would probably look at somebody and say, you know, they are racially different. They look different than me, which is where race is based on, how you look, your phenotype. So then they would say, well, they're different. These people are probably, you know, they're darker than me. So they're lesser, or vice versa. And I think that could happen even before humans were even able to form a sentence or even learn how to communicate through writing. I think that could even happen in your mind. So this could have happened way before 1400s. But I would say even way before the inception of the Bible. I think the oldest manuscripts of the Bible is like 700 BC. I would say even before that, way before that, when man was just first, you know, learning how to be. That could have been a thing. Classism could have happened way back then. But yeah, let's get back to the video, because this got like 15 more minutes. But yeah,
shut her ass up. They're trying to say she won't shut up. They can't do nothing to her.
She's being mad disordered.
You're not wrong.
Hey, she does seem like a drug crackhead.
No. Hey, baby girl. You won't be quiet.
Calm down. Right? You shut the fuck up.
I know.
Bitch, you up with the police?
No, I'm with you.
Get your ass over the street.
You wouldn't be handcuffed if you didn't get me.
Bitch, I'm handcuffed because of y'all.
Baby girl.
Please, calm down, baby girl.
Sound like she on drugs.
And it's not even hot yet.
Calm down, baby girl.
It's not even hot yet, boy. Boy, you guys, boy, look at here.
Boy, look at here.
They got a job here in the summertime.
Y'all got a job.
This summer, boy, y'all got a job. It's not even hot yet.
You serious, fuck yeah. But I want to see another nigga. Oh, why are you?
Yo.
We learned. No, I'm ready to go, motherfucker.
Is that a Hebrew Israelite?
Now they gonna put in the car.
Yeah, sober up.
They're gonna put in the car. Just let her sit in the car. They ain't gonna take her nowhere just yet.
Yo, I think that's a sister, man. I think that's an ISUPK sister. You didn't hear the part where she said, "Why you handcuffing my man?"
Mm-hmm.
Could have sworn I heard her say that, and she walked up to this cat that's right here with the beige and and he's like got the shield of David on his right sleeve. He's wearing like brown or whatever.
Yeah, they wasting a lot of time, man.
He said, "Get the sound behind."
This is bad news.
You got to hear it on the way down there, sir.
People are so
They
jealous.
need to find work, man.
That's what we used to say in the ICGJC. That people were jealous of us because before the IUIC got an order, I remember Abayal used to be in Orlando. I had a little back and forth with him. He's cool peoples. He is over Oklahoma City now, I believe. And he used to be out in Orlando, and I went back and forth with him, and they didn't have the garments at that time. The ICGJC had the garments. We had the uniform. We were in order, and the IUIC looked more like the ISUPK, where they would just have fringes on their shirts. They weren't wearing the purple. This was back in like 2009, 2008, and they weren't in order like the ICGJC was. So we thought we were better than everybody else. The IUIC, he said jealous. Yeah, I don't think anybody's jealous, Kimberly Kane. The IUIC in this situation, they actually were the aggressors. They actually initiated physical contact. We just slowed it down at the 15-minute mark and watched the IUIC initiate this whole situation and then jump on top of brothers, 3 on top of 1, jump on top of the ISUPK. I think they're both cults. They both preach hatred. They both preach that Asians have Down syndrome. I mean, the doctrines are full of such bigotry and racism, discrimination and prejudice. So no one is better than the other. The IUIC has more members, and they're not. I will say this: they're not as barbaric as GMS and ISUPK. But this is how the ICGJC was too. We were more Christianized, like the IUIC. The IUIC were like more. The ICGJC was more like trying to soften up, and not so much, be like the KKK. Even though we would still say the white man's the devil, America's Babylon, God is going to destroy America, and the white man's going into slavery. So you're reversing the burden of proof. Prove to me that they're jealous. Being at a camp spot means that they're jealous. How do you know who got there first? Because from what I've seen, it looked like the ISUPK was there first. I may be wrong, but it looked like they were, according to this guy that's recording. That's what he said. And this is a witness. This is how we know what happened. He's the one recording. And we also have the IUIC flipping the speakers facing the ISUPK. So I could use your logic and say, well, if they're not jealous of the ISUPK, this is like reversal logic. If they're not jealous, no, prove the positive statement that you're making. You're saying they are jealous based off of what? Them being at the same camp spot? Come on, man. Let's use some logic. How do you know when somebody is jealous? Like, how do you know that?
If they're jealous of them, they don't have much to live for.
I mean, listen, man. I don't know. I don't know if someone is jealous. I don't know over what. Maybe the numbers that the IUIC have. That could be possible that Johanna, the leader, is envious of the numbers that IUIC has. If the IUIC has more numbers than the ISUPK, and I think that's so. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying what's the proof? I'm not in Johanna's head. I'm not in any of these people's head. You're proposing like a something that can't even be proven, and you're reversing the burden of proof, saying this is called a what do they call it? The it's like an absence of evidence. Now you're saying if they're not jealous, what is it? The damn, I forget what they call it. This is a logical fallacy. The way you frame this whole proposition here, this whole premise, if they're not jealous, why, comma, I don't know why you put a comma after why, be at IUIC camp spot. why would the IUIC face the speakers towards the ISUPK? Are they mad? Are they jealous? Like, none of what you're saying makes sense, sister. I'm sorry, man. You're trying to show that someone is jealous. I don't know. It could be, but I don't see any evidence. And how can you prove what somebody is thinking? Because when you're talking about jealousy, it's much more a thought or a feeling that probably is not going to manifest in reality where you can prove it. So you're just saying something that can't even be proven, which is I'm not surprised because you believe in the Bible, which proposes a lot of things that can't be proven that you just have to believe, which is kind of hard, for me to, I guess, I don't know. I can't get with what you're saying. I really don't understand how you can prove this. Damn, what do you call that, man? I forget what you call that. That's the an argument from ignorance. That's what you're doing. Actually, let's pull that up because I love to show when people are making these arguments from ignorance. If they're not, that's an argument from ignorance or an argument from incredulity. Argument from ignorance. The argument from ignorance or appeal to ignorance may be variously expressed in language. It's an argument from a single premise which states that there is a lack of knowledge, proof, or existence that P is true to the conclusion that P is false, which means that you're saying that because there's if they're not jealous, just by you starting it off that way, if there's not a God, that's like saying if there's not a God, then why blase blah? If there's no aliens, then why do people see UFOs? It's like wording it that way. That's not how you come to a conclusion. This is backwards logic. Prove that they're jealous. Like what proves that they're jealous? You're saying, so she's saying because IUIC is at the camp spot, or because the ISUPK is at the same camp spot and nobody owns this camp spot. This is public property. Actually, it's a library, so it's public property. That's why they're there. They couldn't do this in front of a private business like Denny's or something. So they have to go to where taxpayer money is, which is the library, which everybody owns. The IUIC, you guys are so privileged. You think that you own a corner. You don't own that corner. It's not under the IUIC's name, and anybody can be there. The question is, who was there first that day? According to this guy, it seems like ISUPK was there first, and the IUIC was trying to come in and strong arm the ISUPK. And you see it when you watch the 15-minute mark, which we're going to go back to, when the dude from IUIC tries to pull the chair that belongs to the ISUPK, when the ISUPK member pushes, I guess, a sign or a speaker, whatever was on the side, then the IUIC member put hands first on the ISUPK member. The IUIC started this. So I could use your logic and say, well, they're jealous. That's why they're putting hands on them. If they're not jealous, why would they put hands on them? It's like, that's not logic, man. Nobody owns this camp spot. What do you mean at the IUIC camp spot? The way that you think, it just shows me like how can you talk to a person like this? You know what I mean? Like, you can't talk to a person that already assumes that you got to be like they own a public property. IUIC helps Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans learn who they are according to the Bible. No, they don't. Native Americans are not Black, and neither are Hispanics. Hispanics can be African, European, or indigenous, or a mixture of all, like me. They're not one thing. It doesn't make sense for you to think that Asian-looking Native Americans that look like Mr. Miyagi are related to Africans, or I'm sorry, well, according to you, they're Israelites, but they're actually West Africans. But Central Africans and South Africans, Sudanese Africans are not related to the Black Americans, but Native Americans are related to Black Americans. Mexicans are related to Black Americans, but Africans that look just like Black Americans are not related to Black Americans. This is confusion, woman. I don't know if
Yeah.
you understand DNA and genetics, even history, archaeology, paleontology, anthropology. All of this shows that Native Americans are related to Siberians, which they are Asian, Northeast Asians. That's what they are. They crossed over into America like 20,000 years ago through one migration. There was a possible second migration that came into the Americas from the same area, some Polynesian. It's a good mixture, but there is no Jewish or Israelite DNA ever found in Native Americans, Mexicans. Like, come on, man. Puerto Ricans, the Taino Indians, they didn't even have a written language. The Arawak Indians, they didn't even have that. The Mayans had that. But yeah, this is I mean, this is a mental illness, man. It's like it's really sad that people that are supposed to be intelligent, you should have the mind like to understand very easily that a Mexican, you put a Mexican alongside a Haitian. Like, come on, man. Put a Mexican next to a Haitian. Come on, give me a break, man. And you're gonna tell me that Africans are not Hebrew Israelites, and then they're gonna say, well, some of them are. They're gonna muddy the water so that way they don't sound too crazy because they know that they look just like Africans. You are an African, Kimberly Kane. I can see it in your face. I don't, and this is a small little avatar. You have African features. You can do your DNA and connect your DNA to possibly West Africans, which the majority of West Africans, of the Black Americans in this country came from West Africa. But then they also mixed in with Native Americans. They also mixed in with Europeans, with white people. So it's all confusion. You try to make it like it's so easy, black and white. Oh, the father's seed and so and so. Well, guess what? Didn't the Native Americans get raped by Europeans? Didn't the Tainos and the Arawak Indians in Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Dominican Republic, didn't the women get raped by the men, the European men? So wouldn't the majority of the people in those islands be European? What are you going to say that? No, those Europeans were Israelites too. I've heard Israelites say that.
Yeah, yeah,
You guys are insane.
yeah. They said that the Spanish are Israelites.
That's how they get around all this madness. So
Yeah.
they know that the Tainos, or I'm sorry, a Dominican or a Puerto Rican or a Cuban, let's stick to the Caribbean Hispanics, they can be black, African, European, or indigenous Taino, Arawak, or a mixture of all three. So it's confusion to say that, oh, they're Israelites, but it's like, wait, so the Native Americans that were already there, those indigenous Indians, they were Israelites. And then Europeans came, conquered them, they're Israelites too. And then they brought African slaves, and they're Israelites too. This is insanity, man.
Here's my question.
Mhm.
If black people are Israelites and stuff like that, where are the bones to show black people in the Middle East and places like that?
They're not there. What you find is the, like, if you go even into the Canaanites, who they say the Canaanites were Africans. Canaanites were Middle Eastern.
Canaanites were straight up white people.
I wouldn't say straight up white, but they did mix a lot, because think about it. Didn't the Europeans come down all through the Mediterranean, down through Israel to Egypt? Even in Egypt, there's a city called Alexandria.
Yeah.
Because of that's named after Alexander, the Greek.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, they did DNA testing on Jewish people, Israelis, and they found that they have DNA that connects them to the Canaanites, which they dug up from graves in the land of Israel. So Hebrew Israelites like to say that the Jews, the Israelis right now in Israel, are European, but then how in the hell did they get that DNA from the Canaanites to match up their DNA? There's a connection there. The Jews that came back to Israel, they have descendancy in Israel. They definitely have genetics that mix. I mean, you have to go by DNA. Otherwise, what else do we have? We're just going to go by a scripture. I mean, the 12 tribe sign says that Zebulun shall be a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Zidon or Sidon is by modern day Syria, the Mediterranean Sea. That's the location that is telling you Zebulun would be at. But in their 12 tribes sign, they say Zebulun is a haven of ships, the Panama Canal. It's like, what? That's how you decide genetics. They make a genetic claim and then they give you a location as the genetic location. It's not has nothing to do with genetics. But
that's my question. Okay, if black people are the Israelites, if African Americans are the Israelites, then where are the bones where you have wide nose negroid skulls in places like Turkey and parts of Eastern Europe and parts of the Middle East? All of these locations were places where the Bible took place.
And
okay,
David Moses, Israel says light-skinned Hispanics are Israelites. Why? Because, but check out why they're Israelites. Light-skinned Hispanics are Israelites because they went into idolatry. As the white men told them, if you don't worship the cross, you'll be killed. How does that make them Israelites? His answer to why they're Israelites is because they went into idolatry as the white men told them. That doesn't make any sense. You're making a genetic claim and you're saying they're genetically Israelites because they religiously worship some idols. But don't the heathen or the pagans, the Gentiles, don't they worship idols too? Does that make them Israelites? That comment is so ignorant, man. Light-skinned Hispanics are Israelites because they went into idolatry? That's the reason they're Israelites? That doesn't make any sense, man.
No.
I want y'all to start thinking, yo.
Where's the physical proof to prove any of this stuff?
That doesn't even connect. How do you prove that somebody's an Israelite by what they worship? If pagans and heathens and Gentiles all worship idols also, how can you tell the difference? They all worship idols. And you're saying, no, the Hispanics that worship the idols, only those are the Israelites. What about the Polynesians that worship idols? What about Alaskans? What about the Inuits? What about the Inuits in northern Canada or the one in Greenland that worship idols? What about the ones in Easter Island? Like, come on, man. This doesn't make any sense, yo. Right. I know what Hosea 7:8 says. I know. Ephraim is a cake not turned. They have mingled among the people, right? You don't think I know these scriptures, bro? What does that mean? That their color? Because where does that have to do with skin color? Because if you don't turn the cake, it gets burned on one side and then there's going to be black.
They're thinking about pancakes and shit.
Why are you thinking about color all the time? Why can't it just mean that if you don't flip the cake, if you don't turn it, it gets destroyed, as idolatry does to people? Idolatry destroys a people, right? Is what according to the Bible. So then they went to idolatry and they're like a cake not turned, because if you don't turn a cake, it gets destroyed. And they mix amongst the people. How does that have to do with color? Everything is color to them. That's crazy right there. Hosea 7:8. I know what that means, man. I know exactly where you guys are going to go to. I don't even have to Google this stuff or look up my Bible anymore, bro. I went through the same thing that you're going through. You're probably younger than me, Issachar. And I'm guessing you're a Mexican, man. And that is crazy that you are a Mexican and you think you're black, man. That is insane. Mexicans don't really have any drop of black in them. There are very few. It's like 0.5% of the Mexicans have some African in them because some slaves were taken over there, which wouldn't be Issachar in that case. There would be whatever tribe they were taken from.
Judah or something.
Yeah, like the people in Belize, like Shine, the rapper. He's from Belize. And Barrington Levy, he's also from Belize, the reggae artist. They're black. Guess what happened in Belize? Slaves were taken from the West Indies, from Jamaica, I believe, into Belize. So are they Issachar or Zebulun, or are they Benjamin? How do we base it? Because you're going by location. But when did they start? Like, when do you start saying, okay, since you came into this location in the 1500s, you're like, it's so much confusion. It doesn't make sense. Araya is a fool, an old fool who I think is dead. We don't even know. Doesn't matter. He's been dead physically, mentally.
Wait a minute, sir. Sir, one time you said something. You told GMS that they were going to expect to see a WCW NWO reunion with Arya or something like that.
Yeah, because they kept preaching that. They kept preaching some like some reunion where Arya, like they were brothers in GMS having dreams, and they'll post videos because GMS, their members just do whatever the hell they want. They're not in order like IUIC. They'll just post videos and say, I had a dream that we were at camp and Araya came and just grabbed the mic and he started spitting fire. It was like, what?
That's a form of trying to kiss ass. They're trying to kiss his ass. Kiss their hard ass.
It's because it's already on their mind, because Tahar has been kind of putting that out there little by little that, oh, well, we don't know what the Lord's going to do. We don't know what the Lord's going to do. The Lord might bring him in. The Lord might kill him, but the Lord might bring him in. We don't know. And it's like, he's not saying shit. He's saying exactly what anybody would think. we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. But he's saying it as if it's a possibility that he might come in. And all he's saying is that nobody knows what's going to happen. He might die, or he might come in, or he might get rabies, or anything could happen. So because anything can happen, that means that it's likely that anything can happen, which is not the case. Just because you can say anything can happen doesn't mean that it's likely that it will happen, and it doesn't mean that he's going to come into the cult. They're crazy. So Tahar was constantly throwing that out like a teaser. Like
he's been saying that for years.
Yeah, it's kind of like that feeling you get. I remember when I was a kid and I saw Macho Man join NWO. I'm like, yeah, it's like that. It's like, yeah, now he's on our team, or like it's like they they joined the D Generation X and Triple H. Shawn Michaels is Generation X now, and it's like that feeling.
Goldberg is the member of the Wolfpack.
Right. The NWO was my I used to love that riff, that guitar riff that used to come out. That was a Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
I love that. Hulk Hogan.
Hogan was the man. He was the man.
Reunited with Macho Man, with the NWO. That was what I was trying to make like a comparison with Tahar and Arya, because it was like such a big deal at that time. It's like Macho Man and Hulk Hogan are reunited, they're like on the same squad now, when they were like enemies back in the WWF. And it's like that type of talk. And Tahar is like kind of enticing them to think, yeah, we're gonna get all these, these elders, and we're gonna power up, and they're gonna know that we're the real, new.
Those guys are 80-something years old. It's not gonna happen. Those guys are too old.
Yeah. But yes, this guy says, my Hispanic friends' family are light and others are dark, especially their grandmother. Yeah, Mexicans can be dark. Guess what? East Indians can be dark too. Pakistanians can be dark. People in Afghanistan can be dark. People in Yemen. Africans are dark, sir. But Africans are not Israelites, are they? So being dark is not an indicator of you being an Israelite, according to you. So why do you use that as some indicator of anything? Aren't Africans dark? But you say that Africans are not Israelites. Let's be real. Let's stop playing these games, man. I love getting into these conversations because I need to sharpen my sword. I haven't gotten into this Hebrew Israelite stuff like I've been wanting to lately. And you guys are still on my radar. And every time I see some craziness come up, it just reminds me of why I started the channel in the first place. But yeah, my bad, Savan. I'm ignoring some I'm not ignoring it purposely, but I'm skipping over it. There's a lot of comments, and I know we haven't finished the video. We got like 10 more minutes. The sister just got arrested. Brothers are in handcuffs still in the ISUPK, and the IUIC is just chilling on the sideline. Damn, as like they're working with the feds, like they're working with the cops. But let me see here. All the Northern Kingdom will become black. I've never heard that.
I remember that.
I wonder what group he's a part of. I don't know.
Sound like it's similar to Great Millstone.
He says acknowledge me. I don't know what that means. But then why did the 12 tribes exist even in the Bible? That's the problem, is that I don't just look at the Bible and say, yes, this is so important, or this is a factual. Not everything in the Bible can be corroborated as a fact. So I don't believe it until it can be corroborated as a fact some other way. Just reading a scripture doesn't mean anything to me. It's not conclusive evidence of anything.
It's not no.
Yeah, just reading a scripture and saying, here it says that, Lot's wife was turned into a pillar of salt. I don't think that seems like so far-fetched that for me to assume that's true goes against my logical mind. Just what we don't see ever happening is people turning into pillars at all, let alone of salt. So it's like that never happens. Why should I believe that it did happen? Just because somebody wrote it or anything in the Bible that is outrageous. It's like if I told you I have a pet dragon, you won't believe that. You won't believe that. But if I told you I have a pet dog, you might believe it because it's not an outrageous claim. It's not so out there. But you're telling me things that sounds like, you have a pet dragon type shit. It's like all the Northern Kingdom that's going to turn black. Like, that's kind of degrading too. It's like you're degrading yourself by saying, oh, see, my people, I'm not as dark because my people mix, so I'm kind of like a heathen, but one day I'm going to be black. It's like, this shit is sad, man. This shit is so sad. It's like reverse racism. It's just racism is all it is. But it's like the opposite of I guess what you always hear Hebrew Israelites talk about. Oh, white people, they always or Hispanics want to claim that they're white all the time. And it's like, well, the majority of Hispanics are white. The vast majority, at least in Dominican Republic, in Puerto Rico, maybe. The only other places that they're not is like Mexico, where they're more indigenous, and Brazil, where they're more African. No, Brazil has a huge population, but compared to the Europeans, there aren't as many Africans even in Brazil. Even though in Africa, that's where most of the slaves went to during the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. But still, there are most Hispanics are European. I think I could say that, confidently. I know in Dominican Republic, there's a smaller population. I think it's 9% in Brazil. I think Dominican Republic is like 15% black. In Puerto Rico, I think it's just about the same. In Cuba, just about the same. So black people are the minority even in America, 13%. the Hispanics in America that consider themselves black are only 2%. There's only 2% of the Hispanics in America that consider themselves to be black. The rest is like 70% consider themselves white, and then the rest would be like other, like indigenous or something like that. But yeah, this is craziness, man. This is craziness. It looks like there's only 3 tribes that'll be in the kingdom. I don't know what that means, bro.
What the hell does that mean? I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk about it. Come on, man. What does that mean, bro?
Doesn't mean anything. Like,
What does that mean? What does it mean to be 3 tribes in the kingdom? I don't understand.
and then he's just saying things that are like just doesn't
That's
even
not scriptural. I mean,
need to be said. Libyan, Canaan, and Egyptian are not Israelites. I don't know why you're even saying that. Like, what I'm saying is that you think that being dark is somehow an indicator of you being an Israelite when Africans are dark, but you don't think that they're Israelites. So that's exactly what I am saying. So yeah, this is just a distraction that's just doesn't. It's not profitable.
Well, my thing is, let's follow the evidence that we have. I mean, what evidence do we have? Is my original question. What evidence do we have of black people of Negroid skulls in places like Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, parts of Eastern Europe, and Turkey? Where are the Negroid skulls with big wide noses in those locations?
Right. It's not there.
It's not there.
You won't find it in the Middle East or what is called the Levant. You won't find it there. Even in Egypt, there you have to go back to like a certain empire, a certain dynasty in the Egyptian rulership.
A long time ago.
Like 1300, I think is the date, something like that.
BC.
Yeah.
Right.
And they you can't find and even then, because if you want to call Egyptians black, you can get away with doing that. But at the same time,
you can.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to make a distinction between the sub-Saharan Africans.
That's right.
Who they call the Nubians or the Cushites. They were always depicted as to being darker, broader noses, short hair like afros, like they will have short like peasy hair, like you can see it in the depiction. And they didn't have the same facial features as Egyptians had. They actually put them in slavery. You can see the depictions of it. So like Egyptians look more like a Hebrew Israelite than a sub-Saharan African did. Sub-Saharan Africans are like people like Wesley Snipes, Barrington Livy. These are dark-skinned Africans with dark African features that the Egyptians just didn't have these features. They didn't look like that. So the Israelites definitely didn't look like that. Even though there's I got to do more studying on this, but the Israelites were a mixture of different people from that area. So the Judites, they say, have more of a matching DNA to the pharaohs, to the Egyptians, I mean. And then you have other tribes that were more connected to the Chaldeans and the Assyrians and things like that.
Right.
This is before they, the whole story of the takeover, and I mean the whole
those are the Arabs.
Yeah, I mean the whole Exodus. Yeah, the whole Exodus story, it hasn't even there's so many holes in it. It's kind of been debunked, like some parts of it at least.
Yeah.
Debunked. But yeah, like even in the scriptures, you don't see all the tribes coming out of Egypt. Like,
first of all, the book of Exodus, there's no proof of any of that even taking place.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, they tried to say that there was an archaeologist who was a pseudo archaeologist. I forget his name. I went over it years ago, man. This guy took like a Hubble craft or one of them things that go in the water and take photos, and it just went in the Red Sea and it took some photos of some things, and then based off of these photos, they determined that the miracle of the Red Sea splitting happened, and and it's like, man, the way that people go about trying to prove their preconceived notions, it shows like so much bias, man. I'm gonna get back to this because I don't want to address any more of this guy's comments. It's just this. It's futile, man. But yeah, let's go. Man. So this is the important thing. The popcorn, man.
Man,
He's like,
people putting in requests, man. Somebody said, put it on the live mouth for a point. 1 second. Somebody asking requests on the video, man. They want requests.
Oh, I gotta get back to it.
See, here's the real deal. The fight started because of me.
They read the service.
Because my spirit, bro. Y'all got intertwined.
He said the Christian, all the Christians came out of dude.
Yeah, see,
That's what.
see, they're not none of them Christian, but they.
I mean, but that's what he
That's what he
said.
said. Yeah, that's a Christian, but that's the.
That was a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah,
Yeah.
that wasn't a Christian.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was a shot at him.
You cats ready to go home too, boy. Remember that day I was up here?
Mm-hmm.
These ones I was going with.
Oh,
These
he's
ones,
right here.
yeah, this is by myself.
Right.
I knew it was gonna go down. These are the same guys I was dealing with when I was up here. I was just asked a question: whose side am I on?
the defenders of
The side of the DOC, Disciples of Christ Ministry.
disciples of
That's the side I'm on. The side of Jesus Christ. I'm not with neither one of these cats. Neither one of these groups. I'm with my own group. Yeah, she's somebody. They lost their boots.
Oh, the sister lost the boots.
Oh, girl
Probably your girl boots.
in the car lost her boots. Those are her boots.
Yeah.
So I tell these cats, there's nothing wrong.
Stupid play.
Yeah, that sister was the dumbest person in this whole damn video.
No. Mm-mm.
Where else they get you?
And you know, what did the topic of my video say?
Fight.
Israelite fight. Israelite fight.
Yeah.
I would expect a real fight.
Yeah, I know. You knew it though.
I had a feeling, yeah.
Because you don't. Why are y'all sitting there hollering at each other?
Too close.
Next to each other, hollering at each other.
Yeah.
I seen it coming too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now these guys are trying to act like they're prophets, like they saw the fight coming, man. Because it's a verbal fight, and they put, oh, they're fighting, and now they're trying to make it seem, oh, we kind of, the spirit kind of told us that there was going to be a fight, and it's like, no, you didn't. You would have said it, and then you would have, predicted it accurate. Like, there's a way to predict things accurately, and even when you predict something, it's like this is not so far fetched. It's not like you're saying that they were going to fly up in the sky and fight up in the air, and then it happened. That would be amazing. But if you told me, yo, I predicted, because I saw these two camps arguing and bickering, I predicted that they were going to fight, and then it happened. I'm like, okay, that's not amazing. That's actually what I would expect from this type of situation in this type of environment. So that's not a crazy, amazing prediction. Like people try to say, oh, the prophet prophesied this. So I had a dream that this all this crap, and it's like, well, things happen all the time. Every day shit happens, and you might think that something might happen that always happens, and then when it finally happens, you think, oh, well, I thought that this was going to happen, and look, it happened. It's like, well, even the Bible tells you that the things that were happening back then are happening today. People are feasting, they're marrying, giving into marriage. People are, what? They didn't predict that there would be vehicles with, like they didn't predict accurate things like that. They predicted everyday stuff, like people would be eating, drinking. Like, of course people are going to do that. That's not like a wonderful, crazy prediction. But if they predicted that these guys are going to get into a fight, and then one of them was going to get stabbed and have to be taken to the hospital, and another would be arrested, this would be more accurate. Now you're giving more details.
John Jones is going to the hospital.
Right, it's more accurate.
Yeah,
exactly. Like you're giving more accurate details.
Yeah.
Instead of just
these two groups are going to fight.
And he didn't even really come out and say that. He was just, and he'll say it later that he was just trying to say like they were fighting, like bickering back and forth verbally. So, but at the same time, he's trying to give you the idea that, oh, maybe there was something else going on. Lord,
it's back up
on microphone. How you guys
doing?
Are you with this group?
No.
No.
Just purple.
Good.
Yeah, different. Really different. They see purple and gold. They figure, hey, my gold is different. Their gold. My gold is more gold. They're more yellow.
Your gold is different than their gold.
My gold is different than their gold. Yes, I got that spiritual and the earthly gold. I got that 24 karat. They got that 12 karat gold.
Your gold, not gold.
Oh, gold. Gold. Okay,
it's different.
Okay, that too. Gold and gold.
kind of want to address this question. Is the 12 tribes start?
Check this out, beloveds. The funny thing about this here is
I will adjust.
Tomorrow morning, my ministry and I, we're going to be up on the same corner, not doing what they're doing, but bringing our Sunday service to the library up here. We're going to be on this very same corner at 12 o'clock in the morning, preaching and teaching the word. We're going to be in the morning. So y'all check us out in the morning as well. Let's get back to the action.
So they took the handcuffs off now. I think that this guy's testimony and some of the people around might have helped that. Because he was defending them. If you go back, remember he was saying that, and he got it, man. He was on point with how he saw everything unfold. Because I'm over here with the luxury of rewinding and slow motion, and I could see, oh yeah, look at what happened. This guy saw it, and he was right on point. They tried to touch the chair. The dude, I don't know, that the other dude grabbed something else, and then you see that that's the dude back there in the red. He's all the way in the back end, taking the handcuffs off. He was the one that I thought he initiated the push, but it was actually IUIC. Yeah, it was actually IUIC that initiated the physical contact. Before the grabbing of the properties and all that, there was no physical contact.
You got enough footage?
You
got footage.
Yeah, this guy's footage is very useful right here.
Hey, make sure you get that chair on camera. That chair right there.
That chair started on?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Get that chair.
That started the whole thing. That chair by itself.
I was watching at home.
That chair started.
God damn.
You see that?
Damn.
Ain't that funny?
Oh God damn.
Hey, at least these guys didn't get arrested for nothing. because I don't like. I don't want more fucking black men in jail, man. Especially that didn't do any, that they didn't do shit, man. It wasn't really that serious. This was just, I mean, it could have been worse. I think IUIC, their way of handling it probably ended up being turning this into something, that wasn't any that weren't any casualties, anybody hurt, but they initiated the whole thing, and now they want to make it seem like, oh, we neutralized the threat, and it was like you were the threat, you started it.
Right.
Yeah, but disagree with BHI, but at least the film guy's civil. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty civil. These guys are gonna have their mild racism. They're
These are guys. These are her boots. Y'all gonna take her with y'all?
She had the boots with the fur. This cat over here. I'm gonna address that 12 tribes chart question. Because I want to know if you can prove the 12 tribes chart to be true. We have to go by what you say is true about it and analyze that, whether it's true or not. If we can't verify, then we go from there. They always reverse the burden of proof and try to have me say why it's not true. That's
Brother Hall. This was an Israelite versus Israelite. They were up here just communicating. They was up here going back and forth in words, and it broke out into a physical altercation. Got to go back and check it later, bro.
Yeah, this is a damn shame, man. What a waste of time and public resources. These cops could have been somewhere else dealing with something that's actually important instead of dealing with this buffoonery.
Grown ass man.
Yeah.
Big old grown, big corn fed, grown ass man.
It's a sad day right here. This is.
I mean, what are they doing? What are they doing all day? This is what they do all day. That's a wrap, man. That's a wrap.
Their Saturdays consist of this.
Yeah.
Like
not
from morning to evening, pretty much.
Shit. And then they wonder why the women don't respect them.
Right. There goes sister, the one arrest.
I'm about to go back home and out here, man.
Right across from the Popeyes.
I'm going back to the boom boom room.
It's ridiculous, man. They too old for that shit, man. They too old for that.
They got, most of these dudes got kids.
Yeah.
And that sister, man, I'm wondering if that's a Hebrew Israelite. I'm gonna go back and listen to that part where she says, "Why you putting handcuffs on my man?"
Those people's lives are over, man. Those people's lives are already done, dude. It's a wrap for them.
Oh, yeah.
Their lives are horrible, man. That is horrible.
And if that woman is a mother to any of these Hebrew Israelite kids, that's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. Yeah, it's almost done. There's another minute or so left. I want to rewind it back and just recap, just so we got it straight. Yeah, that sister was the only one that got arrested for kind of just like, I don't know if it was obstruction because she got in the way of an officer pretty much investigating what's going on. That's obstruction.
For those who just came in, I'm about to shut this down. This was literally, I predicted an Israelite fight. I wasn't saying it to be a literal fight. I was saying it because they're going to argue with each other.
Right.
But it ended up being an Israelite fight. They physically had a fight with each other, had to call the police, and I had nothing to do with it. I was just here to film it. I'm the watchman, and I'm here to keep you safe. Hey, look, y'all, I got to get up out of here. I got to go hand out some protective vests to the homeless. I'll holler at y'all. But like I said, tomorrow morning, we're going to be on the same corner. The Disciples of Christ Ministry going to be on the same corner here, bringing the message to the people. The message of Jesus Christ, not what they were talking about. We're going to be here 12 o'clock tomorrow morning, around this very same corner where all this happened. Hey, look, y'all. This is the Watchman, Leonard Watchman McKenzie, pastor of Disciples of Christ Ministries. This was fun, but I got to run. I got to go do some more work. I'll holler at y'all. Peace out.
It's called.
I mean, you got to find something in the day to basically do besides talk about Jesus all day. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right. It's
people know about Jesus. I mean, what the hell are you doing? I mean, who cares about?
Right.
I don't know that Bible shit. That fuck black folks up big time, man.
Right. So, David, is called the Disciples of Christ.
Lord have mercy.
I don't know what he means by the brother in purple talking with you. They're not talking to me. What are you talking about? This was a live that was recorded yesterday in the streets of Kansas City.
No, that's his video. That's that guy's video. That guy that was on the camera.
Yeah, David, that's not. Yeah. But yeah, I guess the Disciples of Christ. I guess that's the channel. I never heard of them prior to this. There are so many groups that I hear about every day. There was another one called. I don't even remember the name of the other one. It was like a Hebrew Israelite. It was like their name is all in Hebrew. I forget the other group, but yeah, this is the beginning of it right here in the 15-minute. Yeah, it was like the 15-minute mark or 14 something. Yeah, it was right here.
What you gonna say about that?
Yeah, so right there, that chair right there was the beginning of it all. And I just want to slow this down to 0.75. And let's just see right here. I wonder if I could zoom in a little more. It won't let me do that. But yeah, that is the beginning of it right there. Whoever this guy is started it off by, I don't know why he has to touch their chair. So this guy seems like a little bit of a troublemaker to me, starting shit that didn't need to be started. It's already a problem, and now he's escalating it by putting his hands, and you can see the guy in red was already.
With the Israel united in Christ. And what you gonna say about?
You see, and before he even touches the chair, the guy in red is already moving towards him. Like as soon as he's going for it, he's just touching the chair now. The guy in the red has already moved behind the speaker, going towards this guy's direction in the purple. You see, he grabs the chair. He doesn't need to be grabbing the chair. I get why he did this. Yeah, and then now, as a retaliation, he goes and it looks like he's grabbing something that he has in his hand. So he's like, "Oh, you want to touch my property? I'll touch your property." And then that's when he tries to push him off. He must have pushed like the speaker or something. I don't know what else was there besides that. Could have been a sign. And he gets pushed. You see that push? Yo, that's a fight right there, man. I'm sorry, man. That's not, you don't do that.
What you gonna say about that? Now them sissies gotta pack up and leave.
You pushed him, right?
Yeah. Oh, then that dude swung. There was definitely a punch thrown by this dude in black.
Now them sissies gotta pack up and leave.
Yeah, this guy right here throws a left-handed hook or something to one of these guys. I can see the movement. Watch. You see, he's ducking, and then something gets thrown right there. You see that?
Yeah.
Boom. Oh, yeah, he caught somebody right there. Somebody got caught for sure. And then he gets grabbed up. So that's, yeah, there he goes. Getting pulled. Everybody gets pulled over to the side. They neutralize the situation real quick by jumping on top of each man, 3 or 4 on one. And it was like there was no violence after this. It was just kind of like you put somebody in a chokehold, like what happened in New York. That Marine dude in the subway put the dude in the chokehold to try to neutralize him.
Right.
It could end up deadly sometimes. So it just depends, on how much pressure, how long,
Right.
and where you're applying the pressure too.
Right.
These guys, I'm
All
glad
these guys are at least 230 something pounds.
yeah, there's some big
Minimum.
dudes on here. I'm glad everybody's all right and they didn't get arrested. The sister got arrested, which is a damn shame. But she kind of like
Dang.
she
Knew that was coming.
she asked for that.
She's on her last leg, basically.
Yeah, but so I want to ask David Moses Israel, do you believe that you're an Issacharite? I'm gonna X this out now. Blow these things up. Do you believe that you are an Issacharite because of the 12 tribes chart? Because you're the one making the statement. That's a positive statement. So I want to know what you go by and why you believe what's the evidence that proves that you just saying that you follow, that your ancestors followed idolatry and that you have some family members that are dark skinned doesn't mean that you are from the tribe of Issachar. So what tells you that you're from the tribe of Issachar? That's all I want to know. I would love to know what you base it on. You know what I mean? I don't believe that the 12 tribe chart is true in any way. So, but I want to know why you think it's true, because I have to analyze your beliefs. I have to analyze the reasons for why you think it's true before I can say anything else about it, because everybody has their own reasons. So if you say I'm an Issacharite because Genesis chapter 49 says that Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens, and there's a lot of donkeys in Mexico. Like I don't know, man. Like that's what I want to get into first before I just say it's false and I give you my reasons. My reasons for believing that it's false is your reasons for believing that it's true. It's your lack of evidence. So Issachar is a strong ass. I don't know why that means that you are therefore an Issacharite. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what that means. It's like Issachar is a strong ass. Issachar is a strong donkey. Right? An ass is a donkey. I don't even think there were donkeys in Mexico until the Spanish brought them over. So I don't know what that means. How does that mean that that the 12 tribes chart is true in any way? I know what Genesis 49 says. I know what Deuteronomy 33 says for the most part. There are a lot of Mexicans, whatever you want to call them. They weren't called Mexicans at the time, but during the time of the Mayans and the Aztecs, which all came from the Olmecs, some of them spilled over into Guatemala. So how come Guatemalans are not Issacharites?
And my question to that is, what is considered a Mexican?
Right. A Mexican is considered a Mexican based on citizenship and imaginary lines that separate borders.
Right.
I mean, they're lines, they're there, they're borders, but Somebody put that.
Like if a black person is born in Mexico, is that a Mexican?
Right. Exactly. Like, there's no way for us to tell that the whole group of people that were considered Issacharites ended up in Mexico.
Right.
The Mexican Indians came down from the Bering Strait. That's a fact.
Right.
There's so much evidence. I've done videos on this, and you can see. Um, let me show you some Siberians real quick. Siberian shaman. Now, this is for David, because I can tell you seem pretty like unskilled in your explanation for things.
There's German Mexicans, there's Chinese Mexicans, there's Asian Mexicans. I mean,
Yeah.
what would
Black
you determine? There's black Mexicans. So what would you determine what a Mexican is?
Yeah, and then he says Esau stole America and the Spaniards conquered them. But aren't the Spaniards Esau? And how do you know that that is anyways? Like, I don't believe that Esau stole America.
America was purchased.
Right.
The
Right.
white man purchased America. The
Yeah.
Indian sold it.
Remember, yeah, there's a song by Wu-Tang called Reunited, and he said the Indians sold Manhattan to the white man.
Right.
Manhattan was sold to the Dutch by Native Americans for very, very, very little money compared to what it's worth today. Holy crap! Yeah, they got robbed, if you want to say that, but it was a deal that they both made. So when you just overgeneralize things as it was stolen, that's not so accurate to what really happened. There were wars between tribes in Mexico, in Central America and South America. There were warring, there was infighting, just like we just saw with IUIC and ISUPK. You ever seen the movie Apocalypto? That movie was pretty accurate to what was going on amongst the indigenous people in Central America.
Beautiful film.
Mexican symbol is the donkey, according to what? Thanksgiving. Esau killed the natives. Hebrew Israelites, their idea of the story of Thanksgiving is so backwards. Like, they have no idea what happened during Thanksgiving. So they just say that it was a Thanksgiving. It was just a massacre. And it was like, I don't think you understand what happened during the time of Thanksgiving. I don't think that you really understand what happened. Maybe you want to go back and read about that before we speak about something else. But that has nothing to do with Mexicans. What we're talking about is how we know Mexicans are Issacharites. A Mexican symbol is the donkey. What the hell does that mean? Mexican symbol. What is the Mexican symbol? Let's Google Mexican symbol. Mexican symbols is the eagle. That could be a symbol for Mexicans. They use a skull. The Day of the Dead is practiced in a town called San Miguel de Allende. There's actually a movie called it's a Disney movie or Pixar. I forget, but it's pretty much takes place in Mexico. The guy's name, the main character, the kid's name is Miguel. It's in San Miguel de Allende. It's a city in Mexico where they practice the Day of the Dead. It's a celebration of the dead that's what they celebrate in Mexico. So there's a symbol of a skull that they constantly use in Mexico. It's a skull. It's a death symbol. That's a Mexican symbol. Where do you get that the Mexican symbol is the donkey? I've heard Hebrew Israelites say that before, that there's a flag where there's a donkey with two burdens or something. And then I've heard that the two burdens is Central America or South America and North America. And Mexico is in between those two burdens. There's so many different things that I've heard Hebrew Israelites say. So that's why I'm asking you, what is your proof that Mexicans are Issacharites? You see how he can't do it? it's so impossible for him to do it because he hasn't been given the proper tools, man. He hasn't been given the proper information. It's just brainwashing. He's just repeating what he heard. Esau stole America. I'm asking you how you know that you're an Issacharite. I'm asking you how you know that Mexicans are Issacharites and that you are also a descendant of the Issacharites. Because I mean, there's so much that goes into that also that is just pseudo science. There's no father seed to say that the Issacharite seed carries on anyways. And Issacharite was just somebody that lived in the land of Issachar, and then they mingled, and now there's somebody else today. They're probably, there's probably a very, very, very little genetic remain of Issachar somewhere in the Middle East still. How did the Issacharites get over here? I'm sure they lied to you, David. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
I used to be in this thing. I'm sure
both of us.
Yeah, we were both in it, man. And it's not so much that they're definitely lying, but I don't think that some of these guys really believe this stuff, man.
Like, for an example, I don't mean to stop you from talking, but
nah, please.
For an example, the 12 tribes, when you look at the 12 tribe chart, David, that is the location. Those people are the same amount of people that are in the New York area, the New York tri-state area.
Right.
Okay, when you talk about Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, blacks, the Dominicans, Jamaicans,
right.
All those people on the 12 tribes chart, that's from New York.
Right.
So that's why, that's the whole thing about the 12 tribes chart that RER and them use, which he is a genius for that part, I guess. I mean, it's wrong, but at the same time, it's very tactical what he did. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
Because those are the same amount of people. I'm sorry, Sam.
No, yeah, I'm just saying those little connections that they find. It's a little diabolical in a way.
It's diabolical.
This is a Siberian. This is a Siberian shaman right here, David. Issachar. This is you can look up Siberian shamans, and you'll see images of them, and they look just like this, man. Now look at this guy and tell me he doesn't look like a Native American. He has the fringes, he has feathers in his cap, in his hat. He has a feathered hat, the crown of feathers or whatever you want to call it, the bonnet. It's like a war bonnet or something. And these shamans also have the tobacco smoke. They smoke. They do all these things in circles. They sit Indian style, and everything is just like Native Americans. And look at how he looks, man. He looks like a Native American, but actually, this guy is Siberian. But look how he's dressed, and look how it's so similar to how Native Americans dress. I'm gonna look up a Native American in a second, and you can see. Look, look at this. These are Siberians. This is Northeast Asia. These are like chiefs, these are people that run spiritual rituals, like services that they deem like spirituality. Now that's a Siberian. Now these are the Mexican symbols I'm going to go to in a minute, but let's look at Native Americans real quick. Native American shaman. And the images are going to show images that look similar. And you could cut me off at any time, Jason. It's all right.
Go ahead. Okay.
Sometimes I drag on. But I want an actual Native American. These are all like drawings. But yeah, look, it looks just like the dude right there. There's one perfect. Turquoise, the turquoise Indians. Native American shamanism. So Native Americans have shamans, and so do Siberians. Look, this is a Siberian. They look exactly the same, man. It's insane. It's uncanny. You got Big Head. This is a Native American named Big Head. These are photos in Congress. Now you got 1912, the Sikh Sika Medicine Lodge in the winter. Library of Congress is the source. Look at all of this. They dress exactly how the Siberian shamans dress. This is where the Native Americans came from. They didn't come from Israel. Second Ezra chapter 13 does not describe a voyage on ships at all. It just doesn't. But you're not in slavery. You see, now he thinks he's in. They've lied to you to make you think that you're in slavery.
Right.
What makes you think this is kind of disrespectful to real slaves, man? That's disrespectful as fuck, I think. I never noticed how disrespectful it is, but that is such a spit in the face, a slap in the face to, I mean, do I have to show more symbols? More, sometimes a photo will speak 1,000 words.
Like when you consider slavery, they try to, like, some people will say that the slaves were raped during slavery, right? Or graped during slavery. But the problem with being a slave is property. See, the modern person now, a woman on the street, she can get graped. The black woman now can get graped now. But back in slavery, she was property. She was not really a person back then. So grape didn't even exist in terms of those things, because those are slaves.
Yeah, I don't understand how this Mexican believes he's a slave.
Yeah,
that makes no sense, my man.
If you if you have the power to travel and travel to different places, you're not a slave. You're not a slave.
What kingdom are you talking about? He says the kingdom is only for blacks. Now, you sound like you're a slave to black people or something. Are you a slave to black people? Because that's what you sound like. You want to be a slave to black people or something. What does that mean? The kingdom is only for black. What kingdom? There is no kingdom. How about that, man? What makes you think that there is a kingdom coming or something? Life is just going to go on. And this country right here, I mean, we don't know the future. But what are you telling me, that America is going to be destroyed or something? And it's like, that's not, I don't know, man. This
America's going to be sold off.
America's already being sold off, actually.
Yeah. America's being sold off now, actually.
China
owns parts of America.
Exactly.
So if you think China's going to nuke America, that doesn't make any sense for them.
That's true. And England too. Queen Elizabeth, I believe, owns property in Denver.
Yeah.
There's a lot of property in Denver that's owned by royalty.
Yeah.
But
America is not a country that has its own, like the America you're thinking about is back in the 80s or something like that. You know,
it's hard to detangle all his. You see how he has so many preconceived beliefs that it's like we got to talk about heaven. He says heaven is only for Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You know, like, I don't know.
Sound young.
He sounds like he's really young. I don't know where you're learning from, but
real young. Sound real young.
Like your whole basis of heaven sounds off. I mean, it's off. It's like, what is heaven? You know, we're right here on earth. We don't know of any celestial rulership. And then doesn't the Bible tell you in Revelation chapter 20 that there are 12 gates and they all have the different names of the 12 tribes of Israel, but you're just saying Judah, Benjamin, and Levi? Are you asking me or are you telling me? He says, I have a learning disability, guys. Okay, I didn't know that. It seemed like something was off. I'm not trying to mock you or nothing, but a lot of us have disabilities.
That's 90% of the world's population.
Yeah, man. You could you're always invited to come back, Issachar. You could always even come on and talk to me. I actually met Jason Creed right through here, man, just through us chatting, him coming on my live and us finding common ground on things, and me and him, man, like you already know, Jason, you're my brother, man. Anytime you want to come on, you can always come on.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, this was a great live. Did you want to say anything else before we go?
One thing I do want to say is that people who do believe in the Hebrew Israelite belief, please look up actual facts about these things. You know, you have an opportunity of a life. Do not waste your time with this nonsense. Most of this stuff is a waste of time. You could accomplish so much more. You really can. And this the Bible is basically in its last days, is being relevant.
Yeah.
As a relevant religious book. It's basically in its last days.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to show one last thing to him because we were going to go into the Mexican symbols. You're good, man. I appreciate you coming through. But yeah, the Mexican symbols. When I Google Mexican symbols, you know, I do see a donkey here, but it looks like a piñata. I see a maraca. I see a whiskey, a tequila bottle. I see a cactus. I see a string guitar, the mariachi guitar, a Mexican hat, a skull. There's different symbols, you know, and the Hebrew Israelites found a scripture that says a strong ass, and all they had to do was think about a donkey and say, okay, well, Mexicans, donkeys, yeah, we can use that. And then now you think that you're an Issacharite because the scripture says something about a donkey. That doesn't make sense. A donkey is, I don't even think, is native to Mexico. That's another thing we can Google. Are donkeys native to Mexico? The donkey is not native to Mexico, but its importance was established very early in colonial period. There were no domesticated pack animals in Mesoamerica. A certain class of people did that job. The Spanish quickly imported donkeys. The Spanish imported donkeys, which can carry up to 4 times their body weight and far more than any human. Wow. So, you know, like a donkey is not the symbol for Mexicans. It's just not, man. If anything, it's that eagle that's holding like the snake. That's the symbol for Mexicans. That's what I've seen. That's what's in the middle of the flag. It's an eagle that has a snake in its claws, pretty much, in its talons, or whatever you want to call it, its talons. You can see it right here, just real quick. This is the symbol, the national symbols of Mexico. Right here is the Mexican flag, and as you can see, I wish I can. Yeah, let me see. I can zoom in more. It's no. I'll zoom in more. But yeah, you can see that it's pretty much. Wait, what am I sharing? Oh, okay. Boom. It's only sharing that. But yeah, it's pretty much an eagle that's clutching a snake. That's the symbol that I see. So yeah, none of that makes sense, man. Like what the Hebrew Israelites are saying, I quickly realized this stuff is garbage. If you make a genetic claim, you should prove it genetically instead of going to a scripture and trying to prove something based on what a scripture says that we can't even prove. We don't know who wrote the scripture. We don't know how accurate anything in the scriptures really is. And Deuteronomy 28 and 49 let's see. Deuteronomy 28:49 says that as swift as the eagle flieth, that another nation shall come, and I forget something like that. What does it mean? See, you're trying to find too much meaning in these scriptures, anyways. It says, "The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar." So the Lord shall bring a nation against the Israelites from afar.
Well, who is it for? Is the question too.
It's for the real Israelites.
Yeah.
which you're already assuming that's talking about you or black people.
Right.
And when you read it, it says, we could start at verse 48. Or let me see. Shall be with you. Where's the scripture that says, "And the Lord shall smite thee, the Lord shall bring thee, the king over thee"? All right, yeah. Like if you read Deuteronomy 28:36, it says, "The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee." So it says, "The Lord shall bring you, the nation of Israel, and your king, which the Lord shall set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And thou
Now,
shalt..."
let's stop for just 1 second right there.
Yes.
Now, that's a contradiction right there, because Edom and Jacob known each other since day one.
Right.
Okay.
Didn't the Israelites know the Edomites back then? But
Right.
verse 36 says, "Neither thou nor thy fathers have known." Come on, Jason.
See there? You see how why it's bullshit? These guys are teaching bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Like didn't your ancestors, who you claim are Issacharites, didn't they know Edomites? But yet Deuteronomy 28:36 says, "Neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and
Right.
there thou shalt serve." And then it tells you that they were going to be brought somewhere. Mexicans weren't brought anywhere by Mexicans were already in the land, and then the Spaniard came there. It
Right.
wasn't like Mexicans were brought to Mexico, or Issacharites. Issacharites weren't brought to Mexico. And then they didn't have kings either. Neither did the West Africans that were taken. There was no king that was sent over with the slaves. They was just all caught by slave catchers. And
actually, those were already prisoners of war anyway.
Right.
Those slaves.
Yeah. The king was the one that said, he was the one chilling or whatever. If there even was a king at the time in Togo or Benin or in Ghana. I mean, I'm sure there was some type of ruler, but it's labeling it as a king. The Native Americans didn't have a king. They had different chiefs among different tribes. So who was the king amongst, like, none of this makes sense. Native Americans and Mexicans have been in America for tens of thousands of years before 720 BC. And that's when supposedly the Native Americans or the Mexicans, Issacharites, got to America, according to this Hebrew Israelite doctrine, David. So how did the Issacharites get to America? Where are the ships that they traveled on to get to America? Nothing was ever found. It would have been an amazing discovery to find Assyrian ships in America. That would be an amazing discovery, that they found any ships that came from the Middle East, from Mesopotamia, through the Euphrates and the Tigris, and ended up in America. And it took a whole year and a half, supposedly. Where are the ships that the Native Americans and Issacharites and Gadites, whatever, Reubenites, Simeonites, Ephraimites, Asherites, Zebulonites, where are those ships at? Naphtali, like they would find these things, man, like debris, like that ship. Like, how did they get here? Did the ship get destroyed? If it got destroyed on the way over here, then they wouldn't have gotten here. They would have died on the way here. So obviously the ships made it here. Where are the ships now? That's what doesn't make sense. Deuteronomy 28 and 49 is talking about the real Israelites going, so maybe, possibly, this is not like a prophecy also. This is just a curse or like a stipulation. If you don't follow God's laws, the Lord will send this. The Lord is going to send all types of things against you. The Lord is going to bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth. Didn't the Assyrians come over to America? Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't the Assyrians come to Israel and conquer the Israelites? Didn't the Greeks also come to Israel and conquer the Israelites? So that's a nation that's coming from afar. And then it's saying, as swift as the eagle flieth, which is just referencing how quickly it would happen, because an eagle flies quickly. They try to tell you that, oh, this is a symbol for America, and this is why it says an eagle, but there's no proof of that. It's just saying that as quickly or as swiftly as the eagle flies. It doesn't say, and their symbol will be an eagle. It doesn't say anything like that. It just says, as swift as the eagle flieth, whose tongue thou shalt not understand, because it's another nation with another tongue. And the Mexicans, the symbol for Mexico is an eagle. So if you want to say, well, the American symbol is an eagle, so is that's also the symbol for Mexicans. And that was also the symbol for the Assyrians. The Assyrians used eagles too. That's in their history. So not to say any of this is prophetic anyways, because it's not even pointing out the fact that an eagle was going to be symbolic in any way of representation of the nation. It's just saying that they're going to come as quickly as an eagle, as quickly as the eagle flies. An eagle flies fast, and that's how fast this nation will come and conquer. You've heard that, right, Jason? They'll say, oh, you see, it's because the eagle represents America. What's the symbol of America? It's the eagle.
Right, the bald eagle.
They ask these questions like, oh, well, what's the symbol of America? It's an eagle. Oh, you see, it says eagle there. And it's like, but it doesn't say that there was going to be a symbol. It just says that they were going to come as quickly as an eagle.
Right.
So it's trying to symbolize how quickly the conquest would happen, I guess.
Right. The comprehension is off.
Yeah. They twist everything up. The way that they train us to think, we don't even realize how they're twisting the words of the scriptures. And
right.
It's crazy. But yeah, have a good one, Adam. I see you. Thanks for joining and everything. But I don't know if you're still there, David. But yeah, it's oh yeah, Quetzalcoatl. Thank you, Adam. Quetzalcoatl was the it was the snake god or something like that. It was like, that's the feathered snake, I believe. Yeah, Quetzalcoatl was the feathered snake. That is also another symbol if you want to go back to the Mayans, the cultist Mexicans or whatever, the Aztecs. They believed that Quetzalcoatl was a god and this was a feathered snake. Like they had no connection to any Hebrew Israelite beliefs at all.
No, in fact, I think Quetzalcoatl was also described as a white guy, right? Also,
I think later on it morphed into something else. But as far as I know, Quetzalcoatl was always a feather.
Because their gods were also white folks too. Something strange like that. I mean, that's what they believed in. Excuse me.
It looks like it's feathered. It just looks like a feathered serpent.
Oh, okay.
And there's some images, but the images they look kind of brown, but it just looks like crazy nonsense. Like if you look at these depictions, let me share it real quick. This is what they believed in. And damn, this guy's stupid ass, what's his name? Gorilla Hebrew was trying to say that this has to do with Jesus Christ, that Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, was a representation of Jesus Christ, and Issacharites were still kind of connected to Jesus Christ and celebrated
Yeah, that's an old GMS teaching.
That's crazy because
Yeah.
if the Issacharites left in 720 BC, they would have never known Jesus Christ.
Right.
So none of that makes sense at all. And they have to create a whole false history of Israelites coming over here after Jesus Christ and reuniting before the conquest of the Spanish, and after 720 BC, there was another migration, and that's how they know about Jesus Christ, which is crazy. But yeah, this is Quetzalcoatl right here. You can
What
see.
I find funny is Gorilla Hebrew is the leader of that group, but he looks like a classic Hebrew Israelite back in ancient times.
Yeah, right. He would look like how they looked back then. That's
That's
crazy.
how they would look. Something like him.
Insane, bro. It's insane how that is. Just like me too. Somebody told me that one time. I forgot who it was. One of these brothers that always comes on. He was like, "What's funny, brother San Miguel, is that you probably have some Sephardic Jew in you because you're from, my ancestry is from Portugal, Spain."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "It's ironic that you actually might be more of an Israelite than you even think now." And more than these brothers that are West African.
Shit, you probably are an Israelite in comparison to them.
Right. I do have some. When I did my DNA test, I had some Sephardic Jew in me. It was very little.
Right.
But
You more of an Israelite than they are.
Yeah, I'm sure that came from that area too.
Some of those people got German blood in them and everything else. I mean, I'm talking about the regular black people. They got Irish in them and shit. And
yeah, my wife is Haitian. So she somehow had, I think it was some German, but it was very little,
Yeah.
Like it doesn't show in the phenotype or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Quetzalcoatl right here.
Some of the people who got some Jewish blood in them too. Some of them. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the image right here. This is Quetzalcoatl, and you see they even had the eagle back then.
Mm-hmm.
They even had it back then, but yeah, that's pretty much like I don't know. You see, that's not a regular person right here, unless they got some type of. I mean, they could be like a dressed up person. You see,
why would he be Jesus? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Looking like that
doesn't make any sense, really. What they I mean, not a lot of what they say doesn't make sense, man. But yeah, that's
yeah, that was Ariad's thing, man.
Yeah,
see,
some crazy stuff, man.
And they can't. And my thing about Ariad is you can't deny him, because if you're teaching that these people are part of the 12 tribes, then you got to acknowledge him.
Right.
That's where it came from. I mean, he started that whole 12 tribes chart thing.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Let me see. IUIC. Yeah, we've been speaking about IUIC recently. Remember we was talking about the Passover and all that?
Mm-hmm.
You see how they do that whole like they stretch out.
This is some Masons. This is some deep stuff right here. This is like that's deep.
Yeah, they on some real weird cultish stuff, man. And there's been people leaving, there's been people leaving the IUIC. There's always people leaving, there's always people joining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they this is their website, israelunite.org. I think they used to be the ones that had the Hebrew Israelite or 12 tribes of Israel.org. I think it had to do with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was back when I first came in 04. That was online, and I printed out a whole bunch of papers from that website at the library one time, my school library, and took it home. And I'm just fresh in this cult. I'm like just learning. I didn't know much. And my cousin said, no, that's a rebel group. That's the first time I ever heard that rebel group term. And I threw all them away. she's like, you got to throw all of that out. Don't believe in any of that. Those are rebel groups. And that was even adding more to the confusion because I was already like, like learning all this stuff is like, it's a lot, man. And it's like, you kind of have to force it and make it work, make it mentally and logically work when it doesn't. And I feel sorry for people that are going through that moment in that time when they're just like, they're gung-ho about it. And they don't know how to answer stuff. And it's just like, you can tell, like the brother David Moses, I don't know how long he's been learning, but I knew something was up. I'm like, he's not giving good answers for things. And I was like, it just seems like he's just like very young, or he's just coming into this thing because they just trained him, brainwashed him to just repeat stuff, and not have real evidence of things. The IUIC though, they're real organized about their stuff, and they look like aesthetically, good to the
Right.
eye. It looks appealing, and they know how to do that. Yeah, you can see like the whole. I mean, yeah, this
Am I
is
still here? Okay.
yeah. You hear
I'm
me?
sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, the website is like, let's check out the comforter.info. Man, I don't know how long it's been. Last time I went on that website, that thing man, it was like, and
Is that still up?
yeah, look at it. It needs update.
Damn.
Letters from the Godsend Comforter. This stuff is old. Like they just have a lot of old stuff. Letters from the Godsend Comforter is dated back to, let me see.
It's 2017.
Yeah, this is old stuff. 2017. Yeah, Wednesday, the 6th of September 2017. Shalom to the congregation of the nation of Israel and the Caribbean islands that was affected by the storms of Puerto Rico. Storm and members in Puerto Rico, yeah. But see, I can't even open this. See, like the link is like broken. Yeah, I can't even open like the rest of this. That's how old this stuff is. It's like Congregation of Baltimore, Maryland, concerning the racial unrest and civil injustice. You see him he was trying to jump on this social justice movement. Even
Mm-hmm.
back then, he was trying to jump on that whole thing. This civil unrest is what? Was Freddie Gray? Bro,
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Gray was like, this is how you know they don't care about Freddie Gray, man.
No.
These guys are like Al Sharpton, man. They do not care about no Freddie Gray, man.
Like when you see those protests, a lot of those protests are just people trying to get their name in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to meet. They're trying to meet with people, networking, things like that.
Right. Yeah, this is I mean, that's exactly what happens. Like people like this is like tax write-offs to people. This is
Yeah,
nonprofit organization stuff. This is appealing. This looks good. You make yourself look like you are for the people.
they're
And
just building resume.
yeah, building a resume and rapport and all of that.
Yeah,
And look, the August 23rd Virginia earthquake. This somehow was a thing that he wanted to address.
and the guys out there are trying to get sex.
Yeah, exactly.
Booty calls and whatnot.
So
So
much.
that's why a lot of those things exist.
Yeah.
Nobody's out there for Freddie Gray.
And this says June 24th. This 2008, June 24th. It's weird how they structure the date. Tuesday, 24 June 2008. That's weird. But yeah, this is like this they have nothing like new. Nothing is updated. The last thing was 2017. The video gallery, let me see. The video gallery probably still has I thought there was other stuff on there. I mean, maybe I should go on my phone. But let me see. The video gallery has We Ready.
Damn, that's old.
We Ready. Let's see. This is the raid.
I want to say shalom to the congregation of Israel. Pardon for the quality of the video. I have to film this on a cell phone because, as you can see, the church has been raided by the FBI. The persecution has begun. That I've been waiting for. This is a fight, like David fought Goliath. Okay, this is what it's supposed to be. Don't be alarmed. Don't be afraid. Steady as she go. The Lord has me in this position for a reason, and I accept everything that comes with this position. I just want to let the congregation of Israel know that I'm okay. It's business as usual, and steady as she goes. For everybody else that want to stand on the side and want to watch and think that they're watching the destruction of the nation of Israel, that's because you don't believe in the scriptures. That's because you don't believe in the word of God like we do. This church will never be destroyed. And like the Lord our God stated, upon this rock I shall build my church. You watch and see how the Lord deal with this. I want all you brothers and sisters to hold your head up high, because we are doing nothing wrong and we're being persecuted for righteousness. And the Lord our God will fight for us. Shalom to the congregation of Israel, and walk with your head held up high, because this is what's supposed to happen, exactly the way that it is written. Shalom.
Wow, he's a good speaker, man. That's pretty brilliant. That was brilliant. Yeah, I like that.
Actually, he was much better than that.
Yeah,
that right there. When I remember when I first saw that.
Well, that's very brief. It's very quick.
Yeah, it was on the
That's
spot.
good speaking. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
He looked a little scared, and he kind of like caught himself. He kind of like towards the end started feeling better. It looked a lot of that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Tazadaki is a good speaker. Brilliant.
Persecute you and deliver you up to the synagogues and into the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers. When you in turncoats, like when you was
being brought before kings and rulers. He wasn't being brought before kings and rulers. Like, it was a judge in New York City in Jersey for the circuit court. These are not rulers, and it's like it's a judge, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. When it comes to like black folks with the Bible, they make it more grandy, bigger, more Hollywood like.
That's the word. It's like grandiose, and that there's some delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, they make it look, but they make it more grandier, bigger, grand. Right. I like it. He was like, this is supposed to happen, brothers.
And you can hear the Injustice League brother in the background saying, "You're a liar, Rock."
Like Judas, damn liar. When you are turned like Judas, then you side with the enemy. That's amazing to me.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
To me.
Yeah, this, and they got this dramatic music. This whole speech. Now, this was planned. This was nothing. This was not like that. That whole thing. And look at how this is just all set up. This is all like a. But yeah, this cat was producing and doing things like crazy. Like he knew his time was up, man, and he had to do But yeah, no, this thing. Look at him again. He looks scared in this, man.
I want to say shalom to the congregation.
That
Yeah.
that right there alone. But listen to all the He was never he never really spoke like that until this time. And when I saw this, I remember how I felt when I first saw that this was actually finally going down. I started feeling more confident, like, oh, I'm on the right track, and this thing was always bullshit. And he looked scared. And I started gaining more confident. He looked less confident.
Of Israel. Pardon for the quality of the video. I have to film this on a cell phone because, as you can see, the church has been raided by the FBI. The persecution has begun.
A lot of ums. There's a lot of ums here. After
Yeah, because there's so much going on. Yeah.
That I've been waiting for. This is a fight. Like David.
Wow. After every sentence, this is a fight. It's like he's not even realizing what he's doing. It's like just a mental. It's like what's called a filler, a sentence filler, a word filler, just in between your sentences while you're thinking. This wasn't prepared at all, and he usually has that gift of gab where he can speak on the spot. But yo, he was definitely feeling it. He was definitely scared. I can see the fear in his eyes. Either that or he's high or some shit, because this was unexpected. And on any given day, this guy could be on drugs, drunk at the strip club. Who knows? And he had to go and and show up all of a sudden. Who knows what was going on?
Fort Goliath. Okay, this is what it's supposed to be. Don't be alarmed. Don't be afraid. Steady as she go. The Lord has me in this position for a reason, and I accept everything that comes with this position. I just want to let the
he started getting a little better there. But yeah, he didn't know what the fuck to say in the beginning. It seems like he came up with that. The Lord got me in this position for a reason. It seemed like an aha moment the way he points to us.
For a reason, and I accept everything that comes with this position.
He's just coming up with this on the spot, but he was always pretty good at that. I can tell he was flustered here, though. He was not his normal self at this point right here in time. I was feeling way more confident. I was waiting for this raid for a long time. I was talking heavy shit on the internet, and he was.
I think I recall that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was online. This was
what's that? 2011?
No, this is 2016.
2016. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm sorry, sir.
2016 so there was already like that 3-hour blog talk radio show that he was going crazy on, and he called me out. Where's Miguel? I want Miguel and the other demon. That was 2015. That was like at the end of 2015, like October, November. Then this happened a year later. This was November 1st, the Day of the Dead, November 1st of 2016. And, I remember that day because I was making an instrumental album called The Day of the Dead, and I had an instrumental called The Day of the Dead. And I just had this whole theme because of my name, San Miguel. It kept coming up, that city in Mexico that has that celebration of the Day of the Dead. And I don't know why I just went with that. And then when this shit happened on November 1st, I took it like a sign, like, oh shit, November 1st, Day of the Dead. But this was 2016, November 1st. So by March 1st, exactly 4 months after this was my first video on March 1st of 2017. And then after that, I just started putting shit out. And then the Justice League created their channel. And then that's around the same time Vocab Malone came out too. He came out around 2017, I believe, on YouTube at least. Abu was like already out. So he was covering some of this. The Rebel Alliance was covering some of this. But there was really nobody else because then Justice League had all the information. And then the Facebook group there was a lot of people in that Facebook group saying a lot of stuff that I thought needed to but yeah, I haven't been on this thing in a while, man.
Abu, I remember Abu. He started around 2009, right?
Yeah, around 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
I think he was in the Truth After Knowledge, or I forgot what group he was in.
Truth After Knowledge, right? GMF will call him Truth After Bullshit or something like that.
I've never seen this. I don't think. Let me see. When was this posted? See if there's a date.
Yeah, Truth After Knowledge.
Comforter. Welcome to the site dedicated to the name of the administration. So this looks pretty new. The administration of the Holy Spirit, known as the God-sent Comforter. How do you describe what seems indescribable? A name representing an administration, which is the embodiment and manifestation of the Holy Spirit on one man, the Holy God-sent Comforter. I've never seen this. An Israelite of the tribe of Judah. Wow, this is crazy. They're still trying to do new things, like with the whole, with this whole comforter shit. It's crazy. Let me see if I could find. There was also the holyconceptionunit.org. The holyconceptionunit.org. Let's see if that's still a thing.
Nathaniel and them were ridiculous, man, that time. He came out with that damn horse. Damn, he looked better than most presidents look, man.
Right.
Most presidents don't even look like that, man.
Yo, he went all out.
Yeah, man. What's that?
That's why this sister comes on and says that people are jealous. That's crazy. Remember she was talking that crap?
Yeah, why would I be jealous of that?
Yes, man. Crazy.
I'm not gonna hate on that. I'm not gonna hate on him for that, but damn, man, that look like a space age type shit.
Look at this thing. The God-sent Comforter streaming. It says a stream account is meant to be shared in one household. Congregants who are not in your household will need to sign up for their own stream account. If you have any questions, contact stream support. Thecomforter.info. I think this is, they started trying to do this streaming thing for like the Sabbath, where they won't have to congregate no more. That would have been a good way to avoid paying all that rent that they got to pay. But
what rent? Oh, are you talking about the buildings?
Oh yeah, for sure. That would be a good way, to for them to save more money and to keep that money for themselves. So I think what they was trying to go for was like a streaming thing instead of having a physical location. This was their other website. I don't know if you ever heard of this, the Holy Conception Unit. .org. This was before the comforter.info. Let me see if they got any. This is where they used to have the flyers. Whenever we needed to print out flyers, we would just go to this website. It doesn't even look like they have that available anymore. Let me see. Says,
who is keeping these websites up though?
I have no clue, man.
Because somebody has to pay for that, right?
But we speak the wisdom of God in the mystery.
I want you to understand it's a mystery.
We speak the wisdom of God in the mystery. It's a mystery. Because it is given unto you to know the mystery.
Yes, like I said, that we are worthy and that's worthy right. To make it.
These
because what is in the history?
Calling in your election starting to happen. It gives us honor and
always a pleasure, sir. I'm doing great. Thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure, sir. I'm doing
listening to.
Always a pleasure.
Let me see what dates these are from.
Welcome to another episode of Mysteries of the Bible, where the truth is told. I am your host, Mr. Powers, and I would like to introduce my co-host,
Mysteries of the Bible.
How are you doing this evening, Mr. Powers, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing great. How about yourself, St. James? How are you doing?
I don't know what
I'm doing great, sir. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, sir. I'm doing great. Thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure to get an opportunity again to to teach the word of our Lord King and Savior Jesus Christ, as we have been taught by the Holy God, to come for Holy Apostle and Chief Priest Hazaдаkia, and to spend the evening discussing these crazy things that are happening in the world around us right now, sir.
Absolutely. One of the things that and that's very well said, St. James. One of the things the scriptures tell you is that one of the greatest gifts is the gift of prophesying. So to have the opportunity to show teach the word and show the world that the truth is here and nowhere else, because we have been taught by Jesus Christ through his messenger, the comforter, the gospel comforter, Holy Apostle and Chief High Priest of the which is the prophet of God the Father, which is the one that brought all things back into our remembrance that was in the scriptures for us to remember. And that gives us honor and a righteous pride. St. James, to be able to teach this word and to enlighten the world and to let them know.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, let me see. So, man, wish I had like a date. Sometimes they have it at the bottom. I don't see anything that says what year this even came out.
Check the about section.
Yeah, this is it right here. This is it right here, but it doesn't say in defense of the gospel.
We speak the wisdom of God in a mystery.
I want you to understand it's a mystery.
We speak the
That's right. There is a truth.
I'm your host, Mr. Powers. I'm introducing my co-host,
St. James.
Hey, St. James, what's going on?
Yeah, this is
God. There's only one way. God.
Let me see something here. I wonder what
the devil is
frame this all is.
Hey, thank you to everybody. Be safe, and to the next segment of Mysteries of the Bible. That's why we're here in the defense of the gospel, to make sure and to ensure that the message of God is out there and is
voice,
because those ways is going to lead you to death. Right.
It's going to lead you to death, but Hazadak is dead.
Destroy the message that Christ has set up on the earth. There's so
like the way these guys talk, they don't. It's like they don't even notice. Like, yo, Hazadak is dead though. These ways are going to lead you to death. Hazadak is dead. So like, why doesn't that matter? Like, he's dead, so that means that that's a negative. But to them, that's like, no, you see, that just is something else. It's like they always shifting the burden of proof. They're always shifting the goalpost. Like they require one, like they have a set standard for evidence that needs to be met, and then when it's met, they say, no, that's not good enough. You need to give me more evidence, or this evidence is not good enough. This happened with this whole situation with that bike lady, the city bike Karen. Like the receipts came out that she was pretty much that she pretty much paid for the bike.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody was like questioning, like, oh, well, where's the receipts? And I showed them the articles that posted the receipts, and they were like, oh, this is not good enough because the timestamp is blurred out, or it doesn't have her name on it. And I'm like, but the lawyer for this woman gave it to the New York Post, and the New York Post posted it, and the numbers for the bike matched the number that's on the receipt. This is good enough evidence. But this guy was saying, no, it's not good enough. And that's logical fallacies, man. Like I can call all these things out because I studied it through the years coming out of this cult. And that's why I could see like the dude David Moses, he was just not logically sound. Tazadaki's logic is horrible, man. This guy's asking now, is a YouTube channel called DOC Dallas, the Israelites channel, and when was it established? I don't know what he's asking me. How am I supposed to know when it was established? When what was established? DOC? The Disciples of Christ? Is that who he's talking about? I don't know.
But my thing is like, yeah, man, when you look at certain things like some of the Hebrews, like when you look at Tahar, and you was talking about Arya, and y'all was talking about a WCW NWO reunion. I thought that was funny. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's how Tahar. I'm telling you, Tahar had them thinking in GMS for years.
You've been saying that for years. That REI was gonna come back
Yeah,
and be redeemed, something like that.
yeah,
And he
like
was gonna be with them or something.
yeah, like he wouldn't like say that it was gonna happen like a prophecy, but he would entertain that thought, and people would constantly probably have that on their mind. I've heard of two GMS members make videos where they were like excited about that happening, like as if it was gonna happen, because Tahar would lead them to believe that, even though he'll throw out the caveat that, well, we don't know what the Lord's gonna do. The Lord might kill him.
You got the voice down just right, man.
He has a certain way of talking that's hilarious. I would
He
love
sounds like he's Jewish, part Jewish.
Yeah, he sounds like your typical New Yorker. Like he's
Yeah,
just
a rabbi or something.
people that I've been around, in
Yeah.
New York City. I would love to go visit one of his camps where he's there. I think the dude is one of the most entertaining figures in the whole Black Hebrew Israelite community. He's just fascinating to me. He's very interesting.
No,
And
he's the heart of it. He's the heart of it. I mean, he's the main blood. He's the blood soul of the Black Hebrew Israelite community.
man, the day that he dies, whew,
Oh, when he goes, it's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be weaker.
oh yeah, for sure.
The whole, and I'm talking about the whole 9 yards of it. Just not Great Millstone. I'm talking about everything of the Black Hebrews.
I mean,
Like Tahar's the heart and soul of that, man, for real.
I mean, these groups are gonna have their own thing for sure, and they already do. You can see it with IUIC. They got their own little thing going on.
Yeah, because what I'm seeing with them is they're starting to do their own. I'm noticing that too. Like they're really going to their own direction now
Yeah,
than ever before in the past.
yeah. IUIC is doing their own thing. That's why they're gassing all these people up to think that they're like the ones, like they're special and all that stuff, and like there's nobody else like them. But yeah, all these camps are stupid, like this guy David says. But just the doctrine itself is not just the camps, David. Is the doctrine itself is the problem, because that's what they're teaching is the same thing that they're talking about, the 12 tribe sign, the fact that you think you're an Issacharite, like without any evidence. There's just no evidence for that. It would be even to say that you're an Israelite is hard to prove, but to get so specific, to say that not only do I know that I'm an Israelite, I know the tribe, I know down to the tribe, that makes it even more impossible, man. There's no way to prove that if you don't have any Issacharite DNA available or anything to identify or to mark what an Issacharite is. All we have is a scripture that says that Issachar is a strong ass, which just means that Issachar is strong. That's it. The fact that it mentions a donkey or an ass is the same way that it mentions. It's just like them mentioning flying like as fast as an eagle. You're focused on the animal when you're supposed to be focused on what it's saying about the animal, which is a swift. That's all it's saying. It's trying to get you to focus on swift, and you're focusing on the animal for some reason, and it has nothing to do with the animal. And then you draw other conclusions from that animal, like, oh, there's an eagle on the flag, the American eagle. Oh, this must be talking about the Americans. And then that's how they come to, well, then the black Americans are the Israelites, and they connect all of this, and it's
Judah.
like witchcraft, man. This is like voodoo or something that like people find it's like these connections that don't have any solid ground. It's just these flimsy connections of scriptures. Oh, here's an eagle. America has an eagle. The Bible says the swift is an eagle. And yeah, so like that's not a connection at all. That's actually a very bad way to come to a conclusion, especially one that's talking about genetics or even an empire ruling. It's like it's not even going into that point at all. It's just telling you that it's going to happen really fast, like an eagle flies really fast. That's it.
My message to David, if he's still here, I'm going to tell him, if you're young or if you're old, it doesn't matter what your age is. But bottom line is, you have a lot of opportunity. You know what I mean? You have a lot of chance and a lot of opportunity. Don't waste your time on this stuff, bro. Please.
Yeah, you're gonna look back one day and be like, man, he's 15. I don't know.
Oh, he's 15 years old?
So you're 15 and you have a learning disability?
Oh, you don't have a learning disability to me, David. You're just young. You know, you sound young. That's what I thought.
What kind of learning disability do you have? That's what I wonder. But yeah, I mean, we were saying.
Yeah, well, David, you're 15 years old. I'll tell you what, you're a young man. You have a lot of time, and
some of these comments seem like a troll.
Oh, I think he's probably a troll.
Yeah, because he's saying, "So am I your enemies, guys? I'll be serving." Why does everything have to come down to being an enemy or slavery? Everything is always slavery. I'm a slave in this. Like,
that's the Bible. That's what the Bible's about.
But what is?
But I'm just saying, David, if you're sincere, you have a lot of time. You have a lot of opportunities. Don't be concerned about these guys, because what's going to happen is you're going to keep getting involved in this, and it's going to turn like 5 years or maybe a decade, and you're going to look back and you're going to say, damn, I wasted a lot of time.
Yep. Yep. It's I mean, I think about it now, and I'm glad where I'm at. Like where I'm at right now, it's not, I don't know, man. I'm here. I can't imagine any other way, you know. I can try to imagine it, but I got to live in reality, and what I went through put me where I'm at, and I don't mind it, man. I'm glad that I could speak, you know, on these topics, and you know, I'm glad that I could do that. I actually like being one of the few people that have as much information as I have on this topic. I don't see a lot of people do it the way that I do it too. Everybody has their own way. Abu has his own way. Vocab has his own way. You know, I address it from my point of view, from my way, and from certain things that I've learned, some logic, just a logical stance that, you know, just apply logic, man, and see where what stands and what falls. And I think that's the best way to do it. We put too many assumptions on scriptures, and we like to ask, like, well, what does this mean? Then if it doesn't mean this, then what does it mean? It's like, really, if you want to look at it like that, it seems like you can make the Bible say whatever you want. So
there's
no real way to prove it either way. How can we prove that it's talking about the eagle fly if it's talking about America? You know, like how can we prove any of that? You know, like there was no America when the conquest of this land happened. There wasn't called America. Nobody was called Americans. There was no eagle in the flag, American flag. It was none of that. The bald eagle. There was none of that. There were other nations that used the eagle before, but what does that have to do? You know, like there's so many other people that use an eagle, just like we established that Mexico uses an eagle as a symbol. You know, whoever taught you that the symbol for Mexico is a donkey, you know, why would you just accept that? You know what I mean? Like, you can be smarter than that. Do yourself a favor, you know what I mean? And just require more for yourself. Require more evidence, and don't just accept an interpretation. Think about it. It's an interpretation of a scripture.
Mm-hmm.
It's that it is what it is. It's not like some tangible evidence that we can point to. It's just a way of addressing or symbolically interpreting what you read to modern day, modern day life, and it can be done if you symbolically use, things to mean other things. Symbolism can be turned, to mean it can be used to mean anything. So this is what's happening right now. This is what you were talking about before.
Old age, just like you, Tahar. That's my prophecy. It seems like you have this ongoing dream, Tahar, that you think Arya is gonna wake up and join GMS, and you guys are gonna come back together like fucking the NWO versus WCW or some shit where Hulk Hogan reunites with Macho Man. Nobody's joining GMS except for these damn low life fucking Central Park.
Yeah, that's the guy. He crazier than hell.
That's one of the craziest Hebrew Israelites I've ever seen.
That boy don't play, man.
Characters that come out of this movement. That guy right there stands alone. That right there is a character. That guy, man.
Yeah, man. GMS is base, man.
I do videos on GMS because they always respond to me, and I haven't gotten back. There's the GMS Avenger. He made a video about me. There's a few people in GMS that's been making videos about me, and I have screenshots and video recordings that I wanted to use, and I just haven't gotten around to it because I don't really think it's important. Like it's kind of important, but I don't take these guys that serious because it's like they're like a joke in a way, and like it's like I'm beating a dead horse, and I feel the same way about like Tazadakia and the ICGJC.
What I like, I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, no, you good.
What I liked about GMS though, they were more relatable compared to the rest of the Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah, they just seem more down to earth and real. They didn't put on this facade. I think people noticed that about the ICGJC and some of and Tazadakia. It was this whole facade and this focus on the way shit looks, and things needed to look a certain way, like IUIC has it. Like Daniel, they remind me a lot of the ICGJC in their heyday. The IUIC is just pushing it to a further level. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night, man. That's about it. It's we're 4 hours in almost.
Okay, cool, bro.
I appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a really good live and a really good live stream. David Moses. Yeah, David Moses is saying that he's gonna head to bed. How much time you got? I'm closing it out. I think I'm gonna try to finish editing a video that I've been wanting to finish and probably call it a night about an hour from now.
I'm gonna do some push-ups.
Yeah, that's good, man. Damn, you got me thinking now. I think in the morning I'm gonna wake up early before I gotta do anything and just I don't know. Maybe
I haven't been in the gym in a few weeks.
Word. Yeah, I gotta do something. But yeah, I think that's it, man. It's been a great live. This was the IUIC versus the ISUPK, the Royal Rumble. Yeah, so it was good coverage. I'll be back soon, guys. Thanks a lot, Jason Creed and Jimmy Jordan, everybody that spoke up, D and Scheme Hoffa, David. Everybody that came on, even the scoffers, and the IUIC supporters, Kimberly Kane, Savon that always comes through. These cool people. All right, man. Hey, Jason, I'll holler at you soon, though, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a good night. Peace
out,
everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.